of on the issue of disbursement of capitation to schools. Honorable Speaker, the CS and the PS gave an assurance to the committee.
Order, members. I believe you all have an interest in what Honorable Melly is saying. Go ahead.
Yes. When they appeared before the committee and before the House, they gave an assurance that they are going to disburse monies to all schools after the verification exercise last week. Honorable Speaker, it has come to our attention that schools are in their financial crisis. They are about to sit for exams. They are also closing, and that suppliers and even purchases of essentials cannot continue. Honorable Speaker, this House knows that by next week, that is by next week on 21st, the national exams will begin. That is KPSEA, the KCSE exams, and even the KJSEA. Honorable Speaker, I want to bring to the attention of this House that the Honorable CS and the Honorable Principal Secretary are supposed to be compelled to ensure that monies reach schools. Why we are saying this, Honorable Speaker, is that when he appeared before the House and before the committee, they had made a resolution that by the end of last week, money shall be paid to all schools after the verification exercise. We did agree with them as Education Committee that let them carry out verification exercise so that we can ascertain the issues of ghost schools, ghost learners, and all the likes which they had put across. But up to now, many schools have not received their capitation money. Many schools have not received and are not able to purchase the lab equipments on time, and therefore they are not able to meet their requirements. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to urge you to give us direction on this, because I want to give the direction on this because the House does not actually give directions in vain. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Bayer Owen.
Honorable Speaker, I would like to weigh in on this matter, as put by the Chair of the Education Committee, Honorable Melly. Honorable Speaker, this matter of school capitation is an important matter. It's a dire issue. Schools have not received capitation, and yet schools are about to close. Supplies to schools have stopped, Honorable Speaker, and we have a situation where schools are getting grounded. Honorable Speaker, I want to state here, when Cabinet Secretary comes to this House, Honorable Speaker, and I am called by the Speaker to escort him or her to come and make a statement, it is a statement that I should, or the leadership here, should be able to stand by it. It is a statement that should be foolproof, Honorable Speaker. It is a statement that should actually be authentic, Honorable Speaker. But when a Cabinet Secretary comes here, makes a statement, and walks out here, and the opposite happens, Honorable Speaker, we remain in a state of shock, Honorable Speaker. This is the august House. This is the House that the truth must be told, and only the truth. And action must be accompanied by the issues that government officers say here, Honorable Speaker. Today, schools in Kilifi and schools all over the country have no money, have no resources. And we would like the Cabinet Secretary to be called back here and Exchequer release the resources. Otherwise, we have an opportunity to censure a Cabinet Secretary when we have a situation like this, Honorable Speaker. And I would like members of Parliament here to stand up against such things that be said here by Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Speaker. And I would like to ask, as Jack Wamboka engages the Speaker, Honorable Speaker, we would like to get the Speaker's attention, because we would like to get his direction on this matter. So I would like to ask the Honorable Jack Wamboka, I know he has the ear of the Speaker, but allow the Speaker also to have to give us his ear.
Yes.
Honorable Speaker, we would like a direction on this matter. A strong direction. when a cabinet secretary comes here, makes pledges, makes commitment on behalf of government, and things don't happen, Honorable Speaker. It demeans the authority of this House. And this House must stand firm that no cabinet secretary will come here and say things that cannot implement, or things that he will say that have not been planned, Honorable Speaker. So that this cabinet secretary is learned that Wednesday session, which we have given them to come and talk about government policies here, Honorable Speaker, it is something that should not be a waste of time of the Parliament, Honorable Speaker. So we'd like your direction. Did this cabinet secretary come to lie to this House? And that's the direction that we would like to get from you, Honorable Speaker.
The word lie is unparliamentary.
I would like to use, did he use mislead the House? Yes. I want to use that old adage, mislead the House.
Yes, Bowen. Okay. Give Bowen the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is very unfortunate that when the leader of majority is lamenting and the chair of committee also there is lamenting. When a CS who appeared before us last week, Mr. Speaker, and promised the House that he was going to release the funds. Mr. Speaker, let me say this. And I want the chair of budget, the Honorable Atandi, to listen to me. Mr. Speaker, the issue of capitation, Mr. Speaker, we must treat it as a recurrent expenditure. We must make it as a fast charge, Mr. Speaker, like the salaries going to members of parliament and also to civil servants. Mr. Speaker, our students are suffering, and our schools, Mr. Speaker, are struggling, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wanted the Honorable Atandi and all of and the Chair of Education. We need to move capitation money, Mr. Speaker, from the development budget to a recurrent budget, so that, Mr. Speaker, these monies can be dispersed to the schools within the time schedule, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, and we want to ask your ruling, Mr. Speaker, when a cabinet secretary appears before the House and assures the House or gives a report to the House to the effect that he was going to release exchequer before the end of last week, and there is nothing. Mr. Speaker, I want to tell you, many of our schools, they have closed. In fact, they have closed early enough than scheduled because there is no money in the schools. So, Mr. Speaker, as you keep your ruling, we want to ask the leader of majority also, who is also the leader of this House, that there is need the cabinet secretaries, when they give the award in this House, Mr. Speaker, they must live to their talks, Mr. Speaker. Because we have seen many of them coming to tell us stories and they are not talking. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, yes, Wangari.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we canvassed this matter on this floor quite extensively last week. And Mr. Speaker, it is very unfortunate that we are still talking about this money is going to school. And Mr. Speaker, the scandal that is simmering is quite major, because if the money has left Treasury, where is this money sitting today, Mr. Speaker? And by next week, for information, Mr. Speaker, Form 2s and Form 3s are already being released. So you are releasing money to who? Mr. Speaker, this is a very serious issue, and I think the matter of this House speaking in vain is quite something, because we have seen CSS disrespecting this House. Mr. Speaker, even in the committees, it is a problem, Mr. Speaker. But more importantly, let the CS explain, if the money has left Treasury, where is it sitting? And why is it sitting there, Mr. Speaker?
Thank you. Makali Mulu.
Yeah, thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I've listened to the Deputy Majority Leader make his remarks, and I totally agree with what he's saying. But, Honorable Speaker, I have my own concerns. Honorable Speaker, you see, the first question I'm asking myself, is this the first cabinet secretary to lie to this House or to mislead this House, Honorable Speaker? And the answer to that question is no. I think, Honorable Speaker, there is this saying, and I want to put in the quotes because it's a Swahili saying, Honorable Speaker, that mwiba wa kujidunga hauna uchungu. I think, Honorable Speaker, we might be allowing a lot of opportunity and room for some of these cabinet secretaries to take advantage of this House. Honorable Speaker, I do propose this. The link to the executive in this House is the majority side of the House, Honorable Speaker. So when we see the majority side lamenting, Honorable Speaker, I get very concerned. Honorable Mbaya and Honorable Ichungwa, you have your assignment already cut. Your job is well cut, please. Provide leadership and let's do what is necessary in this House to make sure that House resolutions are respected. I submit, Honorable Speaker. Thank you so much.
Yes, KJ.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you. And we are looking forward to the direction that you're going to give, Mr. Speaker, because the debate in this House carries the weight of law. And we know that this House can never be debating in vain. So, Mr. Speaker, we are looking after this canvassing that we shall get a direction that shall carry the full weight of this House. Mr. Speaker, administering capitation even at this time is already too late, Mr. Speaker. The education term is ending for 2 of the forms, is ending next week, Mr. Speaker, for the Form 2s and for Form 3s. But more importantly, Mr. Speaker, even with dispersing of capitation in this installment is only an elastoplas solution. The real malady in the education ministry, Mr. Speaker, is the fact that today, if you went to the Ministry of Education, they cannot even tell you the full component of the students by population in each and every institution, Mr. Speaker. This capitation business is a black box that this House must be able to open, lift the veil behind the number of students in each and every institution. And Mr. Speaker, in this day and age, technology allows us to be able to have a dashboard that would show every student who comes into school and every student who leaves the school. But today, how many students are in our schools across the country? Mr. Speaker, the other thing is the submission of these monies. When we give capitation, school this whole business of school fees, and the technology exists, Mr. Speaker. Posta has a payment solution. Posta is government. The schools are government. Why does it become so hard for Posta to be the collecting agent for government, being a government institution, and as such utilize the technology that is available for us to, one, be able to establish how many learners do we have in our schools and how this money can reach the schools for the benefit of our learners. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, member for Nyando. Jared.
Honorable Speaker, I thank you very much. And additionally, I would want to delve into this matter. Honorable Speaker, as has been alluded to, next week all our schools are breaking for the longest period, reporting back in the month of January 2026. Honorable Speaker, that towards the end of this last financial year, which is June 30th, Treasury had already submitted to counties all the monies owed to them, and all the CDF monies had already been submitted into our accounts, Honorable Speaker. The epitome of expertise by the Treasury Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, if money has already been disbursed to the Ministry of Education, we only need to look at the paper trail to find out exactly where that money is and why it is gathering dust where it should not be, Honorable Speaker. Our teachers are really suffering, Honorable Speaker, taking care of children amidst the difficulties of our economy, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, it is incumbent upon this House, through you, Honorable Speaker, to make an equivocal pronouncement as to what...
We've just completed the third term, and especially in the eastern region, which are rampant with the drought and lack of water and food, students have had to scrape through school without food and without water. And now, these students are going to do exams, again, without food, no water, because of lack of capitation. I think it is high time this House stood its ground I think sometimes we are being taken for granted, and especially by cabinet secretaries. The reason being, we were here the other day debating on the e-procurement, and this House made a decision. What is interesting is we were able to listen over the media. Some of the cabinet secretaries fought in the House when we had done the right thing. I think it's a high time we actually held the executive to account, ministers to stick to their words, and they carry those words through. It is still questioned, where is capitation money? Why are our children going to do exams under very hardship circumstances when actually we know for sure this House provided for the money and the money was available? Somebody somewhere should actually answer this. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. I want to bring this to an end. Yes, is that Kagusha? Honorable Kagusha?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The people in this republic seem to think that the National Assembly is playing second fiddle to the executive. In fact, some of the people think that National Assembly authority has been watered down greatly. Honorable Speaker, the reason why our people seem to think so is because every other decision that is taken in this House is not being taken seriously by the executive. Honorable Speaker, the issue of education is so important in our republic that whereby we have passed and moved and appropriated funds for the education sector, particularly the capitation, which is going to our high schools and our primary and JSS schools, and then the cabinet secretary dilly-dallies. And not only does he dilly-dally, but he also seems to say, to mislead the House that he's going to release the money, and then he does not. Honorable Speaker, that in a big way indicts our authority as a House. Honorable Speaker, it's in my considered opinion that as a House we should take it upon ourselves to summon these members of cabinet, and not only summon them but take very serious action against them. Honorable Speaker, some of the people think, and rightly so, that most of the money has been removed from the budget and has been taken into other issues that are not necessary and that are not of importance to our republic. Honorable Speaker, many people think a lot of money has been redirected to do empowerment projects in up country. And this is one of the reasons why we can have money to take to schools, we can have money to take to SHA, we can have money to take to areas which are productive in our economy. Honorable Speaker, if you look at the gravy train that the cabinet secretaries have engaged in, including what we have seen as security machinani. Honorable Speaker, a lot of money is being spent in the wrong way. A lot of money is being redirected.
Order, Kagusha. Focus on the matter before the House.
Thank you.
We are talking about capitation.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
You are wandering all over.
On the issue of capitation, Honorable Speaker, you realize some of the members, some of the schools have submitted the names of the students who are in their schools. But Honorable Speaker, most of those names are still missing. So even when they receive the capitation, Honorable Speaker, it's still not sufficient, or it still doesn't cover the students, because some of the schools have as few as half of the population captured in the system, yet they have registered all of them. And so, Honorable Speaker, that is becoming a big problem. Remember, even if this capitation is still sent to schools, they are still not going to be able to procure because the EGP is not working, and most of the suppliers are not supplying the schools. Even this institution here is having problems with supplies because the EGP system is not working. Yet this House had taken a stand and had given a way forward. And the executive
Kagusha has stopped. First, to state that as members of parliament, we have a duty and a responsibility bestowed on us by the Constitution to oversight the executive. And oversight, Honorable Speaker, I want to believe is what the Honorable Makali Mulu was speaking about when he said, he referred to me, said my work is well cut out. But I want to paraphrase that and say our work as members of parliament is well cut out in the Constitution to make sure that we offer meaningful oversight and represent our people. And I must thank the chair of the Education Committee,
the Honorable Meli, because what he's doing now is offering meaningful oversight over the Ministry of Education and also representing the millions of our children who are in schools who deserve to get what they deserve to get at the right time. Honorable Speaker, I was saying I don't want to dwell on what the Honorable Kagushi was speaking about because largely is political and has nothing to do with oversight and serious housework. But when cabinet secretaries appear before the House, whether it is in committee or in plenary on Wednesday afternoons, cabinet secretaries must be cognizant that they are coming to answer to questions that have been asked by the people of Kenya. And for the cabinet secretary in charge of education to make a commitment in committee, because the Honorable Meli has said he made that commitment in committee. Last week when he was here on Wednesday, he similarly made a commitment, and for what he has said not having happened, I think he's just telling the House he's not serious with his work. And we want to ask the Cabinet Secretary, not just the Cabinet Secretary in charge of education, all Cabinet Secretaries, if you come and pronounce yourself in the House, what you pronounce yourself on must be done. And if it is not done, the onus is on you to communicate to the House what challenges you have. And Honorable Speaker, I'll be reaching out to the Cabinet Secretary for Education to know what challenges he may have had not to have disbursed this money at the right time. And Honorable Speaker, conversation here last week when he was in plenary. And there were even suggestions, if there is a verification process ongoing, why don't you then release a part of the money as you verify the other students, so that it is not 100% of the students who are not legit or genuine students. If you estimate largely you disburse 50 or 60% as you verify the rest. Honorable Speaker, these are challenges I said that I would want to hear from the Cabinet Secretary, and I'll be reaching out to him. He should tell the House, but he cannot appear in the House and make a pronouncement that he does not intend to fulfill. If the challenges are in the National Treasury, because, Honorable Speaker, I'm also cognizant of that, it could be exchequer challenges in the National Treasury, he should come out and tell us. And, Honorable Speaker, I want to offer that I'll reach out to him and probably tomorrow afternoon be in a position to give a detailed response to the House on that particular matter of capitation. But also to take this opportunity, Honorable Speaker, to ask all our cabinet secretaries to take their work seriously when it comes to commitments they make to the House. Because you are not making those commitments to members of parliament. It is to the people who have put you in those offices that you are making those commitments to. When members of parliament request for statements or ask questions, they ask on behalf of the people that they represent. Therefore, when as a CS you come before us to answer, please make sure whatever you are telling us is something that you intend and mean to do, and do it without fail and without any unnecessary delays, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, if you indulge me to take this afternoon, I was actually watching this debate from my office as I attended to other people there, and I had to excuse myself to come and attend to it in person. And therefore, I want to commit to the House that I will get a detailed response from the Cabinet Secretary and give it to the House tomorrow afternoon. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Majority Leader, I want us to do better. There's a common Christian saying that if you can access Jesus, you don't need John the Baptist. I direct you to get the minister here tomorrow at 3 p.m. to speak for himself and his ministry. Because any promises and pronouncements on the floor of this House cannot be in vain. So get to him and get him here tomorrow at exactly 3. He should be on the podium. Wanjala, what is it?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also just want to tell the House, Mr. Speaker, I don't want to debate because you have given direction. but just to ask the House, especially the majority leader and the office of the clerk, that when such commitments are made and they are not fulfilled, they need to identify them, because Committee on Implementation is supposed to implement all resolutions passed by this House, and we have powers to.
Yes, Minority Leader. Pull up Wanjala.
Mr. Speaker, first I want to thank yourself and the Majority Leader for assuring the House that tomorrow we will get a comprehensive answer from the Ministry of Education. Mr. Speaker, there is a serious confusion in our country. And the confusion is that the executive has forgotten that they are answerable to Parliament. And this is where they are oversighted, and this is where they are held accountable, Mr. Speaker. Many of them think that they can do whatever they want, they can say whatever they want to say, and they will go scot-free, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are in this House, and we report to duty every week 4 times for purposes of oversighting the executive, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I had a problem with that ministry. Recently, there was an audit report, Mr. Speaker, concerning that ministry. And the audit report was tabled here, and you committed it to a committee of the House. As the committee was looking into that audit report, I watched on TV the principal secretary of that ministry saying, we are going to amend that audit report. So I was wondering, have we changed the way we do things, or we are in a new country? I thought we have to wait until the committee finishes their work, reports back to Parliament, and then it is here where you can amend any audit report, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was shocked, honestly, when I saw him speaking in the broad daylight to the public that we are going to amend that audit report. He has no powers to amend any report of any auditor's report, Mr. Speaker. He has to come and answer to Parliament why that audit query has been raised.
He has no authority to amend anything in the Parliament.
He has no authority to borrow from the Speaker's words. He has no authority to amend anything in Parliament, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, from that day, I realized that there is a problem in that ministry. Mr. Speaker, the PS has been going around and telling Kenyans that they are doing audit of schools for capitation. Mr. Speaker, you cannot take a whole year to audit how many schools you have and how many students you have in those schools, Mr. Speaker. The government has all the tools and the machinery to know in less than 24 hours how many students they have are there in this country, Mr. Speaker. This is a way to circumvent the budget that we have given to the ministry so that the schools don't receive their capitation, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as a House, we have done our work. We have budgeted for the capitation fund. We have appropriated the funds. And now it is the responsibility of the executive to send that money, those monies to the schools, Mr. Speaker. If they have failed, then we have to take action as a House and bring their names here on the floor so that we can deal with them thoroughly, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to conclude by saying there is a lot of incompetency I'm seeing here, and Parliament, if tomorrow Parliament does not get satisfactory answer, Honorable Majority Leader, Parliament will exercise their constitutional mandate, and they know what to do, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable members, with issues on this, hold your horses to tomorrow. The minister will be here tomorrow at 3 o'clock, prompt. On the same issue? Yes, Wamboka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I appreciate your ruling on this. I just want to bring to the notification of this House, Honorable Speaker, that the same PS that my able minority leader is talking about, he actually amended the budget of this House. He reappropriated the budget, Honorable Speaker, of this House, where after this House appropriated money for specific schools, Honorable Speaker, for infrastructure development, this PS went ahead, he pulled together these monies and decided to pick new schools and, Honorable Speaker, where he had interest, and send the money to those schools. So we are talking about a permanent, a principal secretary who is rogue, Honorable Speaker. As we prepare to face them tomorrow, the House must be aware that someone is usurping the powers of this House, Honorable Speaker.
Majority Leader umesikia hiyo. Other members, allow me to acknowledge in the Speaker's gallery Kisii University students from School of Law, drawn from Kitutu Church North in Kisii. On my behalf and on behalf of the House, I welcome them to the House of Parliament. Thank you. Yes, Gisairo, on the same issue that I've closed?
No.
Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I would like to raise a matter of concern. Honorable Speaker, departmental committees are an extension of this House. Honorable Speaker, the conduct of members of the committee and that of witness in committees follow the rules of this House. Honorable Speaker, today in the Health Committee...
Order. Take your seat. You're out of order. Take your seat. Take your seat. We'll go to statements. Adan Wario. Adan Wario. Go ahead.
It's Ade Wario, Mr. Speaker, not Adan Wario.
Pardon?
It's Ade Wario.
Ade Wario.
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
North Hor.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44.2c, I wish to request for a settlement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Energy regarding non-utilization of wind power potential in Northern Constituency. Honorable Speaker, Northern Constituency is the home of Bubisa, Huri Hills, and Elgade wind farm sites. Power projects that were conceptualized to tap into the renewable energy resources of Marsabit County. Inasmuch as feasibility studies undertaken on the wind power confirm the viability of these projects, their significant potential remains untapped. Notably, Bubisa world's average wind speed of 11 meters per second with stable wind regimes, ranking it among the most viable regions for the wind energy generation in sub-Saharan Africa. The utilization of the wind farm power project has the potential to contribute to the national development priorities, including the support for industrialization under the Vision 2030 and improve access to affordable and renewable energy and a better and attainment of sustainable development goals, number 7, of affordable and clean energy. Honorable Speaker, it is against this backdrop that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Energy on the following. Plans in place to tap into wind power potential in Bubisa, Huri Hills, and Elgade wind power projects, including steps taken towards licensing and development of the projects. Measures being undertaken by the Minister of Energy and Petroleum to fast-track the implementation of a clear policy for harnessing the wind power potential in Northern Constituency. And finally, specific timelines within which the ministry intends to allocate resources and commence development of wind power projects in Northern Constituency. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Wario. Chair Energy. Chair Energy. Yes.
Honorable Speaker, we ask to be given 2 weeks. Then we will be able to give an answer.
2 weeks will be on recess, 3 weeks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Peter Masara. Honorable Peter Masara.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to provision of Standing Order number 44.2c, I wish to request for statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Housing, Urban Planning and Public Works regarding the status of construction of Marindi Market in Migori County. Honorable Speaker, Suna Marindi Market is project by the Kenya National Highway Authority, KENA, as part of the Aero Hispania road upgrade. The project, which was commenced more than 5 years ago, was projected to be funded through partnership between the African Development Bank.
Order, members, order. Honorable Betsimba, if you want to converse with your colleagues, sit next to her and talk to her.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order, members. Elisha Odhiambo, you want to talk to Angela, sit next to him and talk to him. And all those members who are up on their feet. Go on, Honorable Masara.
Mr. Speaker, maybe I start afresh?
Go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the Chairperson of Departmental Committee on Housing, Urban Planning, Public Works regarding the status of construction of Marindi Market in Migori County. Honorable Speaker, Suna Marindi Market is a project by the Kenya National Highway Authority as part of Aero Hispania Highway road upgrade. The project, which was commenced more than 5 years ago, was projected to be funded through partnership between African Development Bank, national government, and the county government of Migori. The traders operating along the Aero Hispania road were displaced to pave way for the project. Regrettably, these traders are yet to be compensated or offered an alternative marketplace while the construction remains incomplete. The delay in completion of the market has led to the disruption of livelihood to the traders, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I request for statement from the Departmental Committee on Housing, Urban Planning and Public Works on the following. 1, the status of the construction of Suna Marindi Market in Migori County, including funding arrangements and the expected date of completion, and measures put in place to compensate traders operating around Suna Marindi Market and along Aero Hispania Road who were displaced following the commencement of the project. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Chair, Housing, Urban Planning and Public Works. Owen Bayer, inform Chair Housing to bring a response. In 3 weeks.
Harun.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding the safety of aircrafts operated by aviation training institutions in Kenya. Honorable Speaker, over the past 2 years, Kenya has experienced a disturbing increase in air accidents, many of them involving aircrafts from local flight training schools. Notably, in January 2025, a light aircraft identified as 5YCDC crash landed into a building in Malindi, resulting in the death of 3 civilians on the ground. In March 2025, a training aircraft from the Kenya Flying School crashed in Voi while attempting to land at Ikanga airstrip, leading to the death of the student pilot. Other incidents include the crash landing of aircraft 5Y FSA in a field near Ololtipis in November 2024 and aircraft 5Y PSG in Nairobi National Park in September 2024. Particularly devastating was the March 2024 mid-air collision involving a Safari-Link Aviation Flight 53 and Cessna 172 operated by a flying school, which resulted in the death of both the student pilot and instructor. These accidents highlight the urgent need for enhanced oversight and safety measures within aviation training institutions. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on the following. A report on the condition of light aircrafts utilized by the aviation training centers in the country, including the frequency and adequacy of inspections of both aircrafts and airstrips to safeguard student pilots and instructors. Measures to put in place by the Ministry of Roads and Transport to designate alternative training airstrips, particularly in open spaces which are clear of obstacle and away from dense urban settlements, and the steps being taken by the Ministry to review and strengthen policies, regulations, and legislations aimed at improving aviation safety standards in the country. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Harun. Chair, Transport and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr.
Didymus.
Speaker. We will respond when we come back from recess, Honorable Speaker.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Responses. Is Leah Sangaire in the house? Leah Sangaire. Response deferred. Is Doris Donya in the house? Doris Donya? Yes, Fatuma, what are you saying?
She has stepped out to the small room. You can guess.
Francis Sigay, Chair, Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. Chair, Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. Shinali, isn't that you?
Yes.
You have a response to Ambassador Sigay?
It will be ready shortly, Speaker.
Pardon?
I'm not ready yet.
You are not ready?
Yes.
Until when?
Maybe if I've given a chance after 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Yeah.
You know the House cannot sit and wait for you to be ready.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you look? I'll give you 20 minutes. Look for the response. Let's go back to number 2. Doris Donya. Is the Chair, Trade and Industry ready? You are not ready either.
Yes.
Let's go to number 4. Mother Wangari. You are in the house. Chair, Transport, Didymus. Are you ready?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Honorable Mother Wangare MP, member for Gilgil, requested for a statement regarding the deplorable condition of Elementaita Mitimingi Maunarok Road in Nakuru County. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Mother Wangare MP in the request sought the following. Number 1, the reasons as to why Elementaita Mitimingi Maunarok Road in Nakuru County is in a deplorable state, yet the project for its construction has not been completed. A report on the current status of the contract for the side road, particularly with regard to the unfinished Karim River Bridge. The actions taken by the Ministry of Roads and Transport to have the repair works of the sections of the roads that are in deplorable condition, and an indication on whether the contractor undertaking the construction works in the same entity has been previously blacklisted for substandard work in other regions of the country. Honorable Speaker, the committee received a response from the Ministry of Roads and Transport on 9th October 2025, which I now wish to make as follows. That number 1, the Ministry is aware that the sections of the Elementaita Maunarok Road are in poor condition as a result of the contractor MS Nyoro Construction Company Limited having withdrawn from the site for a considerable amount of time. And that 2, the ministry reported that the 23-kilometer Elementaita Maunarok Road project is 81% complete in regard to its overall progress. The project, which commenced in 2017, was originally intended for completion in 2019 after a 24-month construction period. The contract was awarded to MS Nyoro Construction Limited at the tender sum of Kenya shillings 1,076,000 760,246.99 shillings, Mr. Speaker. The contractor has since delayed finishing the project, citing financial constraints. The ministry has no record of a pending bill as at 31st December 2024, nor has there been any certificate generated as of June 30th, 2025. Regarding the actions taken by the Ministry of Roads and Transport to have repair works of the section of the road that are in deplorable condition, the contractor is under instructions to maintain the entire road to a motorable condition ahead of completion of works, and this shall be undertaken upon the resumption of works, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable Speaker, on whether the contractor undertaking the construction works in the same entity that has previously been blacklisted for substandard work in other regions of the country, the ministry submitted that it is unaware of the referenced blacklisting of MS Nyoro Construction Limited. Mr. Speaker, and I can confirm that the Honorable Minister has confirmed to report back to the committee on when the contractor will be on site, because he has been given a notice to go to the site and repair the deplorable section. I thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I table the...
Wangari.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sometimes I wonder if these statements take any time, as the CS is giving a statement, to go to the ground, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this road has been under construction since 2017. It is now being said 81%. I dare say, Mr. Speaker, there is more potholes than any road that is existing, Mr. Speaker. And this road connects Njoro and Gilgil. If you're going to Masai Mara, if you're in Kikope, you just take a shortcut, and this road is very critical, Mr. Speaker. But my follow-up question, Mr. Speaker. First of all, this road is not 81%, at most 15%. If I put cumulatively the amount of lami on that road, Mr. Speaker, for the 24 kilometers. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I am lucky to have been in this house since 11th Parliament. And I remember when I was in the Senate, this Nyoro contractor was actually flagged out by the Senate that time for blacklisting, because there were demonstrations in Muranga where he had roads, there were demonstrations in Nakuru, there were demonstrations in Nyanda and elsewhere, Mr. Speaker. So the ministry to say that they are not aware, they can check the Hansard in the 11th Parliament, Mr. Speaker. This contractor is notorious, and I dare say, Mr. Speaker, there is no work going on at all. And if the ministry says there is no pending bills for this road, has it all been paid? And what has it been paid for, Mr. Speaker? That clarification needs to come to the floor, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Didi.
Honorable Chair, I am happy to report that...
Which chair?
I will be going for
Which
Masai
chair are you
Mara.
addressing?
Pardon? Honorable Speaker,
yes.
I take your pardon. I've just assured the member for Gilgil that I'll be going to Masai Mara this weekend, and I will personally drive along that road and undertake to bring a substantive answer when we come back from recess on the actual works done and when the contractor, Messrs. Nyoro, will be back on site, considering that the minister has said that they do not have any pending certificate, meaning the contractor was paid all the money as per the works done, and he needs to go back and complete the road section in accordance with the contract which is signed, Honorable Speaker. So I undertake to bring a substantive answer when we come back from the recess, and I will also ask the Honorable Mother Wangari before we come back to this house to ensure that whatever the minister will give us is satisfactory in accordance to the expectation of the member for Gilgil, who she's a very hardworking member of Parliament, Honorable Speaker. I undertake, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I just wanted to add a word to the Vice Chair of the Transport Committee to probably consider pushing the ministry to get that particular contractor, because Nyoro Construction Company, since the Moi days, are known not to complete any road projects. And why the ministry continues to award contracts to contractors who don't perform is not understandable. Probably to ask the Vice Chair, if this contractor is not able to complete that road, to get the ministry to push that contractor to assign that road to a contractor who will be able to perform. Because it is not fair that other contractors have been paid their pending bills and are back to the roads, and some are yet to. To get back to their road.
Mr. Speaker, while I very much agree that Nyoro contractors have a very bad name, Mr. Speaker, while I very much agree that Nyoro contractors have a very bad name, I just stood because the chair, Honorable Didimas, did say that this weekend he'll be going to Masai Mara, and I wanted to request Mr. Speaker that while he's there, could he also check on the road from Kilgoris to Esoit, which also goes to the Mara, and understand why, after the contractor was terminated, the road has not been completed, the road is now dilapidated, so that he can be able to bring us a fuller picture. And you let him enjoy his stay in the Mara, but let him keep his eyes open on those roads that are going to the Mara.
Maungu. Yes, Patron.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I also wish to add the same, Mr. Speaker, that Honorable Dimas has actually alluded to Nyoro contractors. But, Mr. Speaker, we have situations across the country that contractors have been paid.
Is it Nyoro contractors or Nyoro construction?
Whether it was or if it was Nyoro, I didn't know what it really meant. But it might be Nyoro. That's why we have these challenges. Mr. Speaker, my main issue was that apart from Nyoro contractors that he's mentioned, we even have equally others like Haya Bishan, who was awarded a contract in 2014 in Luanda constituency. But this person seems to have no capacity despite having been paid all his money. So as the Vice Chair embarks to look into this, it will be good to also come with a report across the country of contractors who have actually been paid all their money, but they are unable to go back to site, so that such can be blacklisted and not be given any other contract going forward. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Pato.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker relies on the same issue because, Speaker, we have contractors in this country who were given loans and they closed shop a long time ago. In my constituency, I have a contractor called Westbuilt. Westbuilt closed the company and they stopped construction works, but he still owns projects in my constituency like the Chuka University Accessway. So every budget we allocate money for that road, it can't be paid because he closed the shop. So the money goes back to Treasury. So since I came to this parliament, we have been allocating money to that road. And why the ministry does not cancel that contract and give to somebody else still remains a wonder to me. The same thing with the Chogoria-Weru road in Tharaka Nithi. Chogoria-Weru road now is with the third or fourth contractor. And I wonder where the ministry gets these briefcase contractors from, because every contractor report to Chogoria-Weru brings 2 tractors and 2 lorries. 3 months, the contract is cancelled, it's given to another contractor. And this project has continued to shame the government while the government is so committed to finishing that road. So, Speaker, I'm requesting that for Chogoria-Weru and for the Chuka University Accessway, those contracts be cancelled and be given to other contractors who have capacity to finish those works. Thank you, Speaker.
Yes, can we end here on this? Yes, Daud, what is it? Which side?
Thank you,
Daud?
Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm in the Transport Committee and I would want the Vice Chair to call this Nyoro construction to our committee so that we can get to the bottom. But, Mr. Speaker, we've got Nyoro construction together with 888 construction. These 2 contractors are notorious because in Meru, it took them 8 years to do only less than a kilometer of road. And by the time they were finished, it was a bumpy road which you could not even drive on. So, Mr. Speaker, we need to get to the bottom of this as the Transport Committee. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Murugara.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, something else that puzzles is that we are assured by the Minister of Roads that most of these contractors have actually been paid and that they should have resumed work. But also going to those contractors, some of them would confess that what they were paid was actually minimal and therefore they are not able to do much even where they resume the construction of the roads. I have a road that has stood for the last 15 years and it's a pathetic road purely because first it's the briefcase contractor who had gotten all the contracts in the country and did almost nothing. After that, he refused to assign the roads to anyone who would do it until he was coerced to do it. And now the Chinese company that has come in is complaining that it's not being paid well, and therefore the Chakariga-Marimanti Road continues to get into the 16th and 17th year without completion. I have now seen a re-advertisement that is supposed to be redone afresh, and that makes me to get curious as to who is going to do it and where the funds would come from, unless a full disclosure is made by the Ministry of Roads that we must actually take the work of these roads very seriously, not to go around in circles and we have roads pending for the last 15, 16 or 17 years. And I've given an example of the Chakariga, Marimanti, Katunga Road, which must now be completed at all costs because even the citizens themselves, they are concerned as to whether we are serious in trying to build this road or we are just there to show people that something is happening when actually there is nothing much happening. The Minister of Roads must take it up very seriously. It must commit funds to the satisfaction of the contractor and the public that these roads are actually completed so that they are used by our voters and especially in the Raka constituency. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
David Ocheng.
Mr. Speaker, sometimes I wonder whether we just advertise roads to make our people happy or we intend to do them. Because, Mr. Speaker, the picture painted in Chogoria and in Gilgil and other parts of the country is the same everywhere. In Ugenya-Guda Road that was advertised in 2021, Mr. Speaker, 6 years now, we only have 2 kilometers of tarmac in 6 years. And the contractor is on the road. There's been money there. We go to ask whether he's owed any money, he's not owed any money. So the Ministry of Transport, in my opinion, Mr. Speaker, must start dealing with not just contractors, but he must also check in the ministry itself, be it KERA or KURA or KENHA. The engineers that keep approving these people to continue being on those roads, how can a contractor be on the road for 12 years, 8 years, 6 years, and only 1 kilometer is done, Mr. Speaker? And when you go to the BOQs, if you go to check how much money is spent, so much of that money goes back for supervision, for evaluation. So much money is going back to government engineers who earn salaries but still earn monies in those constructions going on. So, Speaker, I believe that as Parliament, we must discipline especially the way we manage road construction in the country, not just tendering the process, but how we manage the whole process. Because how does a 12-kilometer road take 10 years to build? How do you build a road 1 kilometer per year, yet the contractor has equipment in the site, is being paid for redundant equipment, as long as there's equipment on the site, the guy gets being paid every now and then, interest keep accruing. So the money that should be used for building roads, we keep on paying contractors for interest that they have not earned, Mr. Speaker. We as Parliament must discipline the road construction exercise in this country, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
As you've heard all those concerns.
Yes, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have taken note of all the concerns for members, and I undertake to get much more deeper into this matter in terms of understanding why this contract has taken so long, and in the event that the contractor has decided site, what step that the ministry is going to take to ensure that the contractor is kicked out and the remainder of the road is actually repaired under his cost, so that we don't have a scenario where Kenyans lose their money and the people of Gilgil continue to suffer because of the behavior of this particular contractor, Honorable Speaker. And I also want to go and to the archives and retrieve the notice that the Senate cited this contractor, and we can renew it to ensure that this contractor should not be given any work again in the country, because it seems to be a conduit where Kenyans are losing money, Honorable Speaker. So I undertake to come back before this House when we come back from recess with a substantive answer that I'm sure the Honorable Member will be satisfied. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. We'll release the matter in the first week after recess. Ambassador Sigei, you're in the House. Shinale, are you ready now? Okay. Respond to Ambassador Sigei's.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to give a response to a follow-up response to the statement by Honorable Ambassador Francis Sigei, MP, member for Sotik constituency, on the status of the new cooperative criminalist Sotik factory. Honorable Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to present a follow-up response by the Departmental Committee on Trade, Industry and Cooperatives regarding the status of upgraded new KCC Sotik factory. This detailed response follows further consultation and a ground verification visit undertaken after concerns to this Honorable House. Honorable Speaker, about modernization progress, Honorable Speaker, the committee affirms that the modernization of the new KCC Sotik factory has been successfully undertaken. Between financial year 2016-17 and utilized to replace obsolete machinery, enhance production efficiency, and improve plant reliability, therefore positioning the factory as a key processing hub within the region. And on ongoing production activities, Honorable Speaker, during the site visit, the committee confirmed that the production of mala and fresh pasteurization milk is ongoing at the new KCC Sotik factory. This clarification addresses earlier uncertainty and affirms that the facility is fully operational, contributing to value addition within the dairy sector. Mr. Speaker, on the enhanced processing capacity, following modernization, the new KCC total national processing capacity has increased from 300,000 liters per day to 875,000 liters, with the Sotik contributing an additional 100,000 liters per day. On improved former earnings and market assurance, Honorable Speaker, the committee observed that the dairy farmer payments in Sotik cluster have grown from Kenya shillings 640 million in financial 2018-2019 to Kenya shillings 1.05 billion in financial year 2023-2024. The introduction of rolling 14-day payment cycle and the establishment of revolving fund have further strengthened liquidity, improving payments timelines. On labor and staff welfare, Honorable Speaker, the upgraded Sotik factory currently employs 1,052 permanent staff and 1,154 casual workers engaged on a needs basis depending on production volumes. The committee noted that management has initiated a review of wage structure and overtime policies to ensure timely compensation and full compliance with the labor laws. On strengthened farmer participation, Honorable Speaker, the committee noted that the farmers are now more actively involved in new KCC operations through structured cooperative societies, regular consultation meetings, and extensive services. These interactions promote inclusivity, improve production, and enhance transparency in milk collection and payment processes. On energy efficiencies and quality assurance, Honorable Speaker, the committee notes that the factory has invested in its welfare. Additionally, a joint infrastructure and improved way of tackling delayed payments, the factory stands a model of modernized way of tackling delayed payments. The factory stands a model of modernization within Kenya's dairy sector. The committee will continue to exercise its oversight mandate to ensure the sustained success and replication of these gains across other new KCC facilities. Honorable Speaker, in the presence of the committee visit, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Ambassador Sigei MP was present. Thank you.
Sigei.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to respond to the statement given by the chair. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I want to thank you because it was you who made the direction that this committee goes to Sotik. Mr. Speaker, that was a great move. Mr. Speaker, the committee came to Sotik under the chairmanship of Marianne Keitany. And Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the committee because they did a wonderful job. Mr. Speaker, coming to Sotik alone and listening to our farmers was enough to raise their morale. But Mr. Speaker, I also want to say that the chair has answered many questions. And I was impressed by the language, Mr. Speaker. The language is very good, but beneath the language, beneath that statement, Mr. Speaker, there are a lot of issues, a lot of missing gaps. Mr. Speaker, one, Mr. Speaker, is about the price of milk in Sotik. If you look at that statement, Mr. Speaker, he has not given us the cost price. What is the price of a liter? And Mr. Speaker,
Ambassador Sigei, ask him questions.
I'm asking Mr. Speaker that the price of milk in Sotik is less than 35 shillings. Mr. Speaker, I would like the chair to do his investigation because the price at the moment is not what he has said. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, is about the delay in payment of milk farmers. Payment of farmers in my region has delays of about 3 months in arrears. And this has caused a lot of pain and anguish to my farmers. Mr. Speaker, I have two companies which have about 5 million in arrears. And you can imagine, Mr. Speaker, how these farmers are feeling, how they are undergoing problems. I would like to hear more about that one. Mr. Speaker, also, Mr. Speaker, I want to report to this House and the chairman that the Mala line was only operational on that day you came to Sotik. The following day, there was nothing. Nothing was going on in the Mala line. And I would like to request the chairman that maybe we will lead another comprehensive answer so that we can be able to understand. Farmers are listening to me, Mr. Speaker.
Enough.
And we would like to see what is going to happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sunguli, let's take Sunguli as well.
Mr. Speaker, I want to join that statement to request for more clarification because, Mr. Speaker, Kilgoris new KCC cooling plant takes its milk to Sotik. And for 3 months now, actually since July, the farmers have not been paid for their milk. We have been faithfully supplying milk to KCC, but there has been no payment. Indeed, actually 2 weeks ago, there was a demonstration of the people of Kilgoris, the farmers of Kilgoris, against KCC for not paying the farmers. I was listening to a very rosy statement by the chairman saying that payment periods have become better. They haven't become better. Can you go back and tell us when are our farmers going to be paid for their milk? The second thing, Mr. Speaker, is that the milk in Kilgoris case, in Kilgoris generally, can go up to 60,000 liters. But what we have in Kilgoris is just a 10-liter tank. Can KCC please decide, take a step to give us another at least 20,000 capacity tank and pay our farmers? Because how can you take milk, sell it to the country, and you don't pay farmers?
Hold, Shinali, hold on. Member for Kericho.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to speak and to support the issue about the new KCC and especially to the dairy farmers. Honorable Speaker, I must confess that the price of 1 liter of milk is below 50 shillings. Yet, Honorable Speaker, that it is supposed to be 50 and above according to the pronunciation of the President. Honorable Speaker, farmers are given, I can say, a raw deal because the cost of production is very high. The feeds are very, very expensive, Honorable Speaker. And then to make it worse is the delayed payments. I'm a dairy farmer, Honorable Speaker. I take milk to the nearest cooperative. But even with that, Honorable Speaker, for the last 3 months, farmers have not been paid, and it is not easy buying the feeds and even transporting the milk, the raw milk, and even in any other case, Honorable Speaker. And because of this, the farmers have left their maybe the dairy farming, and they are actually trying to do other form of farming. So, Honorable Speaker, I beg to really request that the new KCC do what is humanly possible to make sure that the farmers are paid on time and the price of milk goes up. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to echo the sentiments of Honorable Francis Sigei. Sotik Creamery is right at the border of my constituency. And I want to confirm that immediately after the committee left, the factory ceased. The casual workers that are working there are now at home. And so, as the chairman, I don't know whether you would like to propose a surprise visit, because that is exactly what is happening. They did the compound, I was there, they did the compound very well, the lawns were manicured, they painted, and immediately you left, the factory ceased. And that is the exact position. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Sir Shinali.
Honorable Speaker, when we visited, everything was well, and even the Honorable Member, Ambassador Sigei, was very happy. If there are other happenings that have occurred after we left as a committee, we want to commit that we shall make sure that we do our work as oversight and make sure the people of Sotik and its environment, especially the farmers who supply milk, are happy and the factory is up and running. Because the government has invested a lot of money, Honorable Speaker, in milk factories, and they have been modernized. They should be working. On the issue of delayed payments, Honorable Speaker, we've shared also with the minister concerned, and we have asked them either through the budgetary allocations or they look for other ways so that they make sure members of the cooperative that supplies milk to our factories are paid on time. We shall make a follow-up and report back, Honorable Speaker, in this House, on the issue of delayed payment by new KCC as a whole in the country. Thank you.
Is it true that the factory was stage managed to be working, and as soon as your committee left, it went off?
Honorable Speaker, when we were there, the factory had been working, and we left it working. Because if something is working for a day, you can actually see. But for us, the factory was working.
Okay. Does a response?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, thank you. I will statement in response to the department I will statement the departmental committee on
we are finishing off something fast. Go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, let me give a background of the same so that Honorable Speaker, I finalize by answering. Honorable Speaker, in 1974, teachers from the present-day Kisii and Nyamira counties began contributing Kenya shillings 20 monthly towards the establishment of the Kisii Mwalimu Investment Company Limited, which was formally incorporated in 1982. The company aimed to promote collective investment and economic empowerment among teachers in the region. In 1989, Kumiko secured a loan of Kenya shillings 6 million from Kenya India Insurance Company Limited to purchase approximately 26,000 acres of land in Rumuruti, Laikipia County, intended for subdivision and allocation to members. However, due to financial challenges, the company defaulted on loan repayment and the amount accumulated interest, rising to Kenya shillings 8 million. As a result, Kenya India Assurance issued a notice of intention to auction the company's key assets in Kisii town, namely Mwalimu House and the Mwalimu International Hotel. To avert the action, a series of consultative meetings were convened between the Kenya National Union of Teachers, NAT, the Kumiko Board of Directors, and other stakeholders. It was agreed that the KUSI Mwalimu Sacco would become the majority shareholder by purchasing 400,000 shares in Kumiko at the Kenya shillings 20 shillings per share, amounting to Kenya shillings 8 million. The proceeds were applied directly to clear the Ken India loan, thereby safeguarding the company's properties at the time. Kumiko had 8,260 shareholders, each holding approximately 88 shares. Following this arrangement, the then board of directors of Kumiko voluntarily resigned and transferred management of the company to the management committee of KUSI Mwalimu Sacco under the facilitation of NAT. The process was subsequently affirmed through judicial rulings, including A, miscellaneous civil application of number 2 of 2017 in Kasmil Lucas Nyang'au and others versus KUSI Mwalimu Sacco Limited and Attorney General, and the B, Environment and Land Case number 497 of 2014 versus KUSI Mwalimu Investments Company Limited and KUSI Mwalimu Sacco Society. Honorable Speaker, this ruling confirmed that the procedures undertaken were transparent, lawful, and consistent with the relevant legal frameworks. In the company's annual general meeting held on 27th August 1999 and attended by 4,200 shareholders representing more than 50% of the membership, members unanimously resolved to voluntarily and wind up Kumiko and transfer all properties, including Mwalimu House and the Mwalimu International Hotel, to KUSI Mwalimu Sacco at market valuation. All properties were professionally valued, transferred at fair market rates, and fully paid for by the Sacco. The proceeds were used to clear outstanding liabilities and operational expenses, with the surplus distributed to all shareholders according to their shareholding. The liquidation process was supervised by Mr. Edward Okodi Ongiti, liquidator, assisted by Mr. Alfazad Mukikoyo, legal counsel. Despite the lawful completion of the process, a section of former shareholders later expressed dissatisfaction and filed petitions in court challenging the legality of the assets transfer and the procedures followed during the company's winding up. If I went, Mr. Speaker, let me move directly to the specific response to issues raised by Honorable Doris Ndone. Number one, she raised a request for forensic audit in the transaction involving Kumiko properties and assets. Honorable Speaker, based on the information available, the processes involving Kumiko's property and assets appear to have been initiated and conducted transparently, with the resolutions passed by the members and confirmed through judicial proceedings. Therefore, at this stage, there does not appear to be sufficient justification to warrant a forensic audit. However, should a forensic audit be deemed necessary, it will fall under the mandate of the Registrar of Companies, as the companies was liquidated under the provisions of the Companies Act. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Member had wanted to know the measures taken by the Ministry of the Ministry to investigate and address the alleged irregular dissolution and takeover of Comico. Honorable Speaker, as indicated in A above, Comico was registered and subsequently liquidated in accordance with the Companies Act. As such, any action regarding the dissolution, including investigation or review, falls within the jurisdiction of the Registrar of Companies and not this ministry. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, the honorable member wants to know support mechanism available to safeguard investment made by the vulnerable groups such as retired teachers within cooperative societies. Honorable Speaker, from the information provided by Kusi Mwalimu Sacco and county government officials, and as summarized earlier, the process undertaken appear to have been fair, member-driven, and in line with the law. Consequently, there is no indication at this time that would necessitate the introduction of additional support mechanisms by the government. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, therefore, the legal and administrative recourse of affected retirees seeking restitution of compensation. Honorable Speaker, should any legal administration redress be considered necessary, it is advisable that such matters be directed to the appropriate authorities, including the Registrar of Companies or the judiciary, as the mandate does not lie within this ministry. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Donya.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm very satisfied with what has been issued because I had a communication with the officials and they said they will go the plan B. I appreciate so much. Again, Mr. Speaker, kindly, I had made a statement to the Committee of Finance and National Planning on the unspent funds of NGAF, Kisii County, 2023-2024. I did it 3 months ago. Until today, they have not given their response, Mr. Speaker, and it is very urgent.
It is not listed. Clerk, you can list that for Thursday.
Oh, thank you.
Go back, Clerk, to order number 5, Millie Odhiambo. Call out first.
Order number 5, papers.
Yes, delegation leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for indulging me. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion.
Apologize to the House for coming late.
I do apologize, Honorable Speaker, for coming late.
Thank you.
I was involved in issues of my constituency.
Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion.
No, lay the paper first. We are at order. Order number
2025. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. 25. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Call out order number 6. Take your seat, Millie.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Millie.
Once again, Mr. Speaker, thank you for indulging me. Mr. Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House notes the report of the parliamentary delegation to the 150th Assembly of the Interparliamentary Union, IPU, and related meetings held in Tashkent, Uzbekistan from the 5th to the 9th of April 2025, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 14th October 2025 by myself. Thank you.
Thank you. Next order.
Order number 8, motion, consideration of reports of the East African Legislative Assembly for the 4th meeting of the 2nd session of the 5th Assembly. Resumption of debate.
Carrier, you have a balance of 2 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, the record is correct. I was on the floor when the House adjourned, and I was debating this report that had been laid by the Honorable Wanjiko Mohia. And Mr. Speaker, I had said that even if we are receiving this raft of reports from the Committee on Integration, we have to go to the foundational matters, Mr. Speaker, that the division that we see in Africa today is not because of Africans choosing in their own accord to be a divided nation. We all know how powerful Africa would be if it presented as a continent, one voice, one people, one market, pushing one agenda. However, Mr. Speaker, the indignity that Africa has suffered under 500 years of slavery, under 100 years of colonization, and even in the interference since with the neo-colonialism that succeeded colonialism, Mr. Speaker, this is a business that can only be taken up by Africans. It is this generation, Mr. Speaker, that will have to answer the question that has been the perennial question. Does Africa look east or does Africa look west? And our generation, Mr. Speaker, must stand up and say that it is time for Africa to look within. If we look within then, Mr. Speaker, we shall be able to carry on the principle of the bigger brother, even as nations like Kenya, Mr. Speaker. Because we are told, Mr. Speaker, that if you are not going to be your brother's keeper, at least do not be the executor of your brother. The East African nations will have to come together and assess critically their abilities as nations, so that if there is a problem, Mr. Speaker, in the submission of the monies and the rates that a country should be submitting, then the new format can be decided on by the East African Legislative Assembly, and as such, we shall move on to build a stronger, better, united East African community. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Irene Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to also make my remarks on this particular report.
This is your report, is it?
Yes, it's my report.
Your committee?
Yes.
Who moved it?
It was moved by Honorable Wanjiko Mohia.
Okay.
Yes, because I was not present.
Go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, this particular report is a combination of the different reports that we received from the East African Parliament that has a record of the budget reports, and as well as some of the deliberations that we had on matters Parliamentary Alliance for Food Security. Honorable Speaker, we have a couple of challenges that we were identified while we were looking at these reports with the Ministry of EAC. And one of them, and just to speak to what Honorable KJ has said, it is the matter of the fact that the EAC and the YALA does not feel adequately financed. Honorable Speaker, we also have the issue of the fact that some of the EAC members and countries are not actually committed to their contributions. We have instances where some countries have not even made any contribution. And Honorable Speaker, for countries like our own Kenya, that has been very diligent in terms of the contribution, it makes the work of the EAC to become very difficult. Because as we speak right now, we have a deficit of an arrears of USD 59 million, therefore affecting the operations of the EAC. Some of the institutions that are actually affected are the East African Court of Justice, the Legislative Assembly, the Civil Aviation Authority, and the Kiswahili Commission. And Honorable Speaker, because of the funding gaps that these have experienced, they're not able to actually perform their duties well. Honorable Speaker, we also have budget execution bottlenecks that are costing the EAC-funded communities and especially the different institutions. And this is again because of the slow rate of contribution by some of the partner states. Honorable Speaker, we also have governance and accountability lapses, and as a committee, we have made very stringent recommendation on disciplinary action on some of the culprits who have been seen not to be following the agreed upon standards of financing, especially for the budget management system that we do have. Honorable Speaker, looking at the committee recommendations, one of the things that we're really recommending as a committee is a round-table engagement between the Yala Budget, the Yala Budget Committee and the regional integrated committees from all the partner states, because we need to get into a conversation for us to be able to actually look at all the issues that we do have within the EAC and see whether or not we can be able to make this work. Because, Honorable Speaker, it does not make sense for us to have an EAC organ, to have EAC institutions. If these institutions are not even well funded, these institutions are not being given priority from the partner states, it does not make work easy for the institutions at all. Honorable Speaker, I also want to bring to the attention of this House the issue of the EAC treaty to incorporate provisions of the Public Finance Management Act. Again, this is a recommendation from our committee that we'd like to ensure that this is done as soon as possible. Honorable Speaker, there is also the matter that we discussed in this particular report that is of very significance, and that is the issue of the East African Parliamentary Alliance for Food Security and Nutrition. Honorable Speaker, back in 2023, during the General Assembly, a recommendation was made that we should have and encourage family farming in the partner states, especially the East African agricultural sector, so that we are not only ensuring that families have adequate food, but that they also accelerate the progress towards agriculture and food security goals, not only for one country, but the entire East African community. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I just want to say that we are urging this House to really support us. And as a committee, we will be taking these matters even to the next level to ensure that we are engaging the partner states and we are engaging the Yala Legislative Budget Committee, because they are also experiencing a lot of hiccups and gaps because of the financial issues. Honorable Speaker, I also just want to take this opportunity to also urge the members of our Foreign Affairs Committee and the Budget Committee that we do have, because if we do not strengthen these organs, especially as Kenya, then the other countries will not be able to follow suit. And Honorable Speaker, I'm speaking like this because currently Kenya is the chair. Our president is the chair of the EAC. And before we get to the summit on the 26th of November in Mombasa, where he hands over his chairmanship to the next country, we really want as a country to show that we can be able to put in place specific action plans that will assist the EAC community. With those few remarks, I submit.
Very well, honorable members, I'm not sure if those logged in are for this motion. Honorable member for Navaholo, are you here? Not. I'll give honorable member for Kitui Central, Dr. Makali Mulu.
Yeah, thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to support this motion, Honorable Speaker, on issues East Africa, Honorable Speaker. This motion was moved last week, Honorable Speaker, and it raises fundamental issues relating to the East African community, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, being a member of the Regional Integration Committee, there are a number of issues we are grappling with as a committee, and this report really touches on some of those issues. The first one, Honorable Speaker, is the issue of the budgets, the financing of the Commission, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the member countries are facing serious challenges in terms of paying their subscription to the Commission, Honorable Speaker. And as a result of this issue of inadequate budgets, Honorable Speaker, a number of our planned programs and activities are not able to be undertaken, Honorable Speaker. We've been asking ourselves, what can we do as a committee to support this East Africa community, Honorable Speaker? We have been thinking about 2 or 3 issues, Honorable Speaker. What the country trade, Honorable Speaker? We know some countries are getting more in terms of trade as opposed to others. The other fundamental question we're asking ourselves is, since some countries are doing more business with the others, and the balance of trade is actually in favor of some countries, then could it also make a lot of sense for those countries who are doing some trade with the others to pay for those who are not doing very well in terms of paying their annual subscription, Honorable Speaker? The third issue, Honorable Speaker, which is critical, is the issue of, is it time then we also impose some levy to the exports and the imports, just as we have done with the road levy, Honorable Speaker, where we levy we get some money from the levy and it assists in maintaining our roads in Kenya. Could we have such a levy which is imposed on the imports and exports within the East Africa community, and the amounts raised out of that levy, Honorable Speaker, are channeled to supporting the activities of the East Africa community? Why am I saying that, Honorable Speaker? Because, Honorable Speaker, we've discovered that there are lots of East Africa community organs, some relating to science, technology, and innovation, others focusing on judicial issues, others focusing on health issues. We also have centers of excellence, Honorable Speaker, for this community. And the question is, if we are not able to fund these important organs of the community, then automatically it means they remain not active, not effective, and as a result of that, you have a lot of administrative staff being in all these countries, Honorable Speaker, and they're not being paid in good time. So these are the issues, Honorable Speaker, we are saying. So even as I support this report, Honorable Speaker, I think as a House, we really need to rally behind this Committee of Regional Integration, Honorable Speaker, and see how we can support the matters budget. And that's, I think that's why my chair is appealing to the Foreign Affairs Committee and the Budget Committee, so that we have a deliberate move, Honorable Speaker, or a deliberate strategy to enhance financing of the community. If we go that direction, Honorable Speaker, we'll make this community be active and we'll be able to live the spirit of the community, Honorable Speaker. Otherwise now, we are not living the spirit of the community, and I think really if we are not able to address these issues, Honorable Speaker, then I think it might make sense for us to say then we don't have to have a community which is not operational. Do we do away with it, or what do we do with it? With those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support. Thank you so much.
Member for Moiben, are you on this? Honorable Barto.
Madam Speaker, no, not really. I wanted to speak
Very
on
well.
an earlier matter.
Honorable Member for Mukurweini.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, very much for this opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I have a big problem with the EAC as a community. And you will recall when we had Mwai Kibaki as the President of the Republic of Kenya, there's a time when we mooted the idea of having a strong EAC, and a roadmap was drawn, Honorable Speaker, what many considered to be a very ambitious roadmap. Timelines were well laid out, and what was supposed to be achieved in a couple of years was full integration, whereby the East African communities would come together and have some kind of integration, not only economically, but also politically, and also infrastructure-wise. But if you look at how we have progressed, we seem to have achieved only one issue, whereby we have an East African passport as members of East Africa community. Beyond that, Honorable Speaker, it's very difficult to be able to point out the benefits that we have accrued as member states. I dare say it's probably more beneficial whereby we have bilateral relations between East Africa countries, two at a time, rather than when we are having this multilateral engagement as an economic bloc. It doesn't seem to be working very well. If you look at what is happening in Tanzania, whereby they have raised requirements which one need to subscribe to before they get employed in their country. Honorable Speaker, that negates the very essence of having this EAC protocol. Honorable Speaker, we were supposed to also have some kind of integrated infrastructure. We started an SGR program where we were supposed to interlink the Port of Mombasa with Uganda all the way to other East African countries. But again, that has stalled and doesn't seem to be making any progress. Honorable Speaker, it is very difficult to draw the parallels between what we are benefiting as a community. In fact, EAC now seems to have become a cost center, whereby it's payments of salaries, funding of agencies that don't seem to have clear outputs. And I think before we progress much more on how to fund this institution, we must sit down and do a proper cost-benefit analysis. We must be able to come up with clear indicators that are going to show how, as a country, we are benefiting and deriving any benefits from this community. Honorable Speaker, I recall recently the country did pay very huge amounts of money to AUC. I think the country paid up to 1 billion Kenya shillings when Honorable Raila Odinga was contesting for the AUC chairman. Honorable Speaker, how I wish this amount of money would have been put to this EAC community to hopefully help to raise the standards and the quality and quantity of the output that we are having there. But now, Honorable Speaker, that has not happened. I'm told most of these other East African countries have pulled out in terms of their contributions. And why is it that countries are not seeing it important to put their money into this community? If it was important to them, they would put their money, because you put your investments where it matters. You put your investment where it is important. But now it looks like it's Kenya, which is probably more interested in this arrangement. Honorable Speaker, again, looking at what has been happening lately, you'd only say now the community is becoming an unholy alliance, whereby the EAC community is having some not very interesting collaboration on how to suppress human rights amongst the citizens of member states. If you look at the abductions that have happened and torture that has happened in our neighboring countries, Uganda, Honorable Chair, you realize that we are in a...
Your time is up. Honorable Member for Wajir North, Honorable Sanei.
Madam Speaker, thank you. I think it is time we review and revisit the entire Treaty of East African Community. Those days at the inception, it looked good, practicable, and at least made sense. But as it is now, given the diversity in in the democracies, demographic issues, different foreign relations or inclinations, I don't think that the East African community is holding us together as it used to be during its earlier days, Madam Speaker. there is some disintegration than integration, Madam Speaker. That's why I call on real review and of the treaty itself, so that we are back to where did we get wrong? What is it that is not working? And come up with a treaty that is friendly and workable for all the member states. In as much as we are expanding, Somalia is coming on board without making some changes. You see, I think each country has its own value system. And when you bring on board other member states, then there is the need to review the treaty in itself, Madam Speaker. There are concerns from the report that members do not give their contributions. One case that was seriously noted is the state of Congo. There must be reason why Congo is not contributing. There are political issues. There might be issues of stability. Congo has not been doing well politically also. So we must ask ourselves, why is Congo really not concerned to this block of being East African states? Unless we address the issues, the problems, then the Secretariat or whatever, the East African community may not be functional as we expect. There are even delayed contributions for those who are paying at their own whims without regard to timelines. And when you don't pay on time, you will affect so many things: the operations of the community, staffing issues, developmental issues. I mean, there shall be no plans of the East African community that works if these contributions are not paid on time, Madam Speaker. There has been serious accountability and transparency issues. It is clear to read from the report that the East African community, the community is corrupt. And if it is corrupt, what can the member states do to make sure that they solve that concern? They are not getting money, and the few they get belatedly are not spent prudently. So what can the community do to such concerns or observations of unaccountability, corruption, and lack of transparency? Then there is the concern of equal contribution by member states. It makes sense for member states to contribute equally so that they find themselves in equal footing in terms of power and negotiation. But in some levels, you will also realize if you will see some countries contributing more than the other, then we will be inculcating the aspects of that big brother syndrome. The case of United Nations, where US calls the shots because they are the ones giving 70% of the budget. I think we need to rethink, to relook on what model is best, that countries should contribute. And should they contribute higher than the other, then now we track of the East African community. Thank you.
Member for Ugenya, Honorable David Oche.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this is probably my third time sitting in the Committee on Regional Integration. And Madam Speaker, there's prospects for our growth within the EAC framework have never looked bleak. The prospects of the growth of the EAC have never looked so Bad. In my earlier life, Madam Speaker, before I came to Parliament, very proper regional organization, Madam Speaker. But now here in East Africa, we want the EAC to be an organization, Madam Speaker. But now here in East Africa, we want the EAC to grow, but the individual countries don't want to cede a level of sovereignty. They don't want to cede powers that would see the region grow. Madam Speaker, to a level where today, as has been said, Secretariat has no money. Salaries don't get paid on time. Basic projects can't be run. There's no monitoring evaluation. Madam Speaker, one of the main reasons that the EAC was to promote trade and regional cohesiveness and do joint investments and industrial development, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, today, within the framework of EAC, through circumvention, we have more products coming from India into Uganda, more products coming from China into Uganda, to a level where, Madam Speaker, I fear that Kenya for a long time was Uganda's foremost trade partner. But I fear that in the next 5 years, Madam Speaker, China will overtake us. India will overtake Kenya with these trades to Uganda. What reason? Because we are not insisting on implementing the ethos. Madam Speaker, the most important thing for Kenya is that Kenya has borne the brand of the EAC innovation process without any benefits, Madam Speaker. If you look at the trade figures today, Madam Speaker, you realize that Uganda is growing, Tanzania is growing, but Kenya keeps going down in terms of our trade, our trade balance with Uganda and Tanzania keeps going down. Yet, in terms of contributions, in terms of what as a country we've had to do to accommodate Uganda, to accommodate Tanzania, to accommodate Somalia, Madam Speaker, we've done so much as a country to a level where, as we speak today, I dare say that the economic importance of our continued membership of EAC is not there. The things we gain now, we could gain without being in the EAC, Madam Speaker. And that's why we must call upon the leadership of all the countries constituting EAC to relook, refocus. Can we, in a way, try to imagine what did our forefathers want us to achieve? What did we set out of ourselves to achieve, Madam Speaker? There are areas where we've made good progress, Madam Speaker. Areas of education, areas of mutual recognition, areas of free movement of person using, IDs and all this. We've made very good progress there, Madam Speaker. But that progress cannot be sustained if you are not making good progress in economic development, in investments, in trade. Those are the three things that will drive and guide integration in our region, Madam Speaker. We cannot keep having elections happen in this region, sometimes very badly. Then we have the so-called observer missions. We are using EAC to stroke leaders' egos. We know this leader is not doing very well, but they cannot be told in uncertain terms that this is wrong. We keep on, stroking egos. Today we're stroking egos for the president of Uganda, tomorrow, president of Somali. It's become like a feel-good thing that, we are now bigger. Somalia has joined, DRC has joined, Djibouti wants to join, Ethiopia wants to join. It's a jamboree that is not giving us anyone. Madam Speaker, I would say more, but if we continue going how we are going, like recently, when Tanzania was facing elections, Tanzania one day woke up and said, we will not accept these products from Kenya. Under what legal regime? Under what framework? One day we wake up and we find that, Madam Speaker, over the weekend I was in Busia, and the trucks now from Busia snarl up all the way to Bungoma. Trucks coming from Mombasa, you go there today, there are trucks. Madam Speaker, if you could get just a minute.
1 minute.
There are trucks snarling all the way in Malaba, from Malaba border to Bungoma. 200-300 trucks queuing within the EAC framework. Is that growth? How are you going to create business if there are trucks queuing in Namanga? There are trucks queuing in Busia and in Lunga. How are we going to grow EAC if we've gone back to what used to happen in 1977? We've gone back to where we were even before the EAC started, Madam Speaker. So it is important that we stop playing lip service to the EAC integration, Madam Speaker, and put our money where our mouths are. The EAC partner states must realize that we cannot grow the East African community using donor money. We must grow the community using our own money and must insist that countries pay their way, and if they don't pay their way, Madam Speaker, there must be sanctions. Otherwise, I fear that we'll soon close the EAC with the shame that goes with it, with the anarchy that will come with it. Let our leaders wake up. Let President William Ruto wake up. Let President Museveni wake up. Let Honorable Samia Suluhu wake up. Let all those who guarantee the existence of the EAC wake up. We need the young people to feel the EAC. We must ensure that we invest in it. Let's not let it die in our hands. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I support.
Member for Limuru, Honorable Kirago.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me a chance. I would like to urge the East African community countries that this is a community that has a lot of people, has a lot of potential to grow. Madam Speaker, I've just come from Uganda for National Prayer Breakfast, and I attended their National Day. But if there is a country that opens doors for Kenya, it is Uganda. Just yesterday, Madam Speaker, I went to have a cup of tea in one of our places in Kentimere in Limuru, and I was shocked. Some of the ladies that have come for attachment as waitress are from Uganda. And I asked myself, if we can open doors for the rest of East Africa, honestly, there is so much potential for these countries to grow, to improve particularly the connectivity. And I believe, Madam Speaker, one of the most challenging things that we have is that a flight of 50 hours to Entebbe is like 1.5 times or almost 2 times cost of flying to Mombasa. And I was asking how it would be if we all made our airspace free and not taxing so much, that the East Africans can be able to travel within the East African countries like domestic travel within our countries. This would open up our people to travel across and to be able to enjoy much more, like more than the European countries community, which people have been talking about. I believe that we need to work to make sure that every country pays its own share, but above all, we need even ourselves in this house to keep on pushing for better unity, for more cooperation within the East African community. It is not time for fighting to break it. Madam Speaker, the history has taught us that there were Kina Charles Jojo and others who celebrated when the East African community died. But it put our countries into a lot of problems. So, Madam Speaker, I join the rest of members who are calling for more contribution, more commitment to the East African community, because it is the way to go. I don't think any one of our partner states can stand alone in this global economic fight that we are seeing in the world, including realignment of various economic blocks. So, Madam Speaker, I'm here to say East African community is a good thing for us, and Kenya, instead of fighting and being worried about the business that is across, we can actually take this country to a higher level where we provide services which are much more advanced in terms of technology, so that when they are selling us the food products from the neighboring countries, we can actually sell them more advanced technology, which actually is available in this country. I thank you.
Jematia, Honorable Jematia.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I want to thank the committee led by my friend, Honorable Rene, for this good report on East Africa. I want to, from the onset, Madam Speaker, I want to declare that I was a member of parliament in East Africa, and I vividly understand most of the challenges and most of the achievements that East Africa can give us if we embrace it positively. And I also want to thank the committee because of highlighting most of the positives and the negative challenges that we are facing now or currently EAC. And I want to believe these are things that this union and this community survive for the rest of Africans. Madam Speaker, from the onset, I also want to say East Africa community from 100 million people. And this is going to be one of the best markets for all of us. The community. Honorable Wanjiku was highlighting last week, is 1.5 billion people. If we can consider this as a positive challenge for all of us to organize ourselves in terms of governments and EAC leading, because so far EAC is the only bloc that has proper structures that are able to even have a good legislative arm that is able to transact day to day. Madam Speaker, through the Treaty of EAC, we can do a lot of things as East Africans, specifically trade. And we can also run the secretariat in day to day through subscription of member states. And if it's, in our opinion, at one point I was even suggesting that if members who are coming, who join late times, except Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, we can probably contribute more and have more veto so that we are able to manage this center of the EAC. Because we cannot allow it, Madam Speaker, that we are, at this point in time, we just want to let this EAC community just whistle away. Because if you can imagine the benefit that you can have in terms of currency, we have already had proponents and proposals of having one currency in the East African community. This is going to give us a lot of opportunity to trade freely, to contribute with a very positive leverage for all of us so that we are able to grow together. Madam Speaker, reason why we have a lot of challenges is because maybe we need to have the 3 member states who are the first owners of EAC to be given opportunity to run the show by contributing better and help these other members who are coming so that we are able to organize the community properly. If you look at what is happening now, is that for the lack of continuation of and good time of contribution and of the subscription, Madam Speaker, we realize everything is lacking. Day-to-day activities is not, and this is going to affect the consolidation of East Africa. For me, I support what the report is saying, and we want to urge the leadership of EAC to come together and make sure EAC functions properly. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Very well. There being no more interest on this matter, I'll call the mover to reply. Honorable Member, Honorable Irene Mayaka, I've been very generous. Why would you need to donate? And I was right here. Kindly reply.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me first take this opportunity to thank the Honorable Wanjiku Muhia, who moved the motion last week, the former chair of our committee, and the Honorable Naomi Wako, and all the members who contributed to the motion last week and today as well. And Honorable Speaker, you can see from the members, we are all speaking in one voice. We want the EAC community to work. As a country, we are very committed to it, but we're also urging the other partner states to also step up so that we can bridge the financial gaps that we have. And Honorable Speaker, it's very sad when we hear our colleagues in Yala have not received salary for 3 months. That's it's extremely, extremely wrong for them. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I just want to let the honorable members know that after this, as a committee, we are determined to have a meeting with the Yala Budget Committee, and as well as the other members of the Regional Integration Committee from the other partner states, so that we can work together and ensure that we actually give this EAC a better lifeline, better commitment, and better strengthening ability from us as legislators. With those few remarks, I beg to move. I thank you.
You beg to reply.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. With those few remarks, I beg to reply. Thank you.
Very well. Honorable members, I therefore put the question that this House adopts the report of the Select Committee on Regional Integration on its consideration of reports of the East African Legislative Assembly at the 4th meeting of the 2nd session of the 5th Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 24th September 2025. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, motion, consideration of sessional paper number 5 of 2024 on the National Green Fiscal Incentives Policy Framework.
Is it the chairperson, Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining? Was to be moved by Honorable Kawaya. All right, we will defer that order. We'll go to the next order.
Order number 10, the Tea Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 1 of 2023, second reading.
This co-sponsor for this bill is the member Honorable Brighton Yegon. Are you in the House? If not, we will defer it. Next order.
Order number 11, the Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Bill, Senate Bill number 17 of 2023, second reading.
This by the chairperson, Departmental Committee on Health, Dr. James Nyikal. Are you ready to move?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to move the Maternal and Newborn Child Health Bill of 2023, the Senate Bill number 17 of 2023. Madam Speaker, I wish to begin by thanking the members of our committee, which I have the honor to chair, for the invaluable support and in the consideration and the preparation of the committee's report on this bill. Madam Speaker, the Maternal and Child Health Bill 2023, Senate Bill number 17 of 2023, was sponsored by Senator Betty Sogola in the Senate and co-sponsored by the Departmental Committee on Health in the National Assembly and was published on the 5th May 2023. The bill was read the first time in the House on 12th November 2024 and thereafter was committed to the Departmental Committee on Health for consideration and reporting to the House pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 127. Madam Speaker, the principal object of this bill is to provide for a coordinated system for the delivery of quality maternal, newborn, and child health services to ensure effective response to maternal and child health, morbidity, and mortality, and establish a framework that facilitates the attainment of the right to health for mothers and children. The bill therefore seeks to strengthen access to quality health care and to promote the realization of the right to health for mothers, newborns, and children across the country. Madam Speaker, why this is necessary is in the area of child health and maternal health. This country has made a lot of improvement, particularly in child health. The data for child health has improved considerably. If you look at the area of infant mortality, children that are dying before the age of 1 year, we have done well. We have moved from a very high figure in the year around 2000, when it was over 100, to actually now 34 per 1,000 live births. That is a big movement. And in neonatal death, we have also done well. We moved from a figure when it was over 50 and 2005, about 33, and now we are down to 21. That has not moved as much as the infant mortality and under 5 mortality. However, there is a concern. That when you come to the area of maternal mortality, the figures to now, that is around 2005, to now 355. And Madam Speaker, that is actually in the region of countries that are not doing as well in child health as of countries that are not doing as well in child health as Kenya. And when we find that where is the death of women during or soon after delivery related to bleeding. But it's also linked because however we have done well with children, but again we have reached a position with children that we are not moving any further. However much effort we are putting, we are not moving any further. But now what we find with that in this country is the area to deal with the first year of death, infant mortality, is actually neonatal deaths. Those are children who die within the first 28 days of their life. So why then we link maternal and child health? Because the deaths that occur in the first 28 days of life are linked to the circumstances around delivery. So that if a mother bleeds profusely and dies, chances are the child may also die. If they bleed before, the child may also die. If it is premature delivery, the child may also die. So it is important, therefore, that we put into place and therefore in also looking after the children. Madam Speaker, in that area, you will find that if you go to any of our health facilities, even in maternities, whereas there are provisions for delivery of mothers, you don't find a proper provision for care of newborn babies, particularly if they are preterm. And even in the financial system that we are doing, we are finding that newborn babies are not catered for. We had to, when we were doing Linda Mama, we had to specifically make sure that the babies are involved, are also included in the pay in the first 28 days. So it is therefore important that we actually make provisions that will take care of both the mother and the child. Madam Speaker, the bill itself is divided into 6 parts, and it has preliminary provisions which include the interpretation of key terms, objects, guiding principles such as equity, inclusivity in service delivery. And here it is important that if we define very clearly the conditions we are talking about, like postpartum hemorrhage, that is bleeding after after birth. These functions under this Act be guided by the following principles: universal access to and equity in delivery of health services and in the recognition of persons with special needs. Mothers have actually special needs. And you will find that the deaths that occur amongst mothers, the problems actually start at home. Delaying decision when they should go to hospital, delaying on when they are taken to hospital, and even when they get to hospital, there are still delays. So that a mother and the progress of labor does not wait for anybody. It will progress. So if you don't have structures and systems in place that will make sure that mothers get instant care when they need it, you are actually likely to lose those mothers. And even for babies, for example, maybe a little more technical, but easy to understand. If the cord becomes before the head, if a mother is delivering, you have only about less than half an hour to make sure that that baby is delivered, or the baby will die inside. So if there is delayed in the second stage of labor, when actually they are ready to be born and it takes too long, both the mother and the baby are in danger. And therefore, you see that in 4B, availability and access to services and timely and reliable measures that will make sure that the services are delivered. And in this, the bill is also proposing in the same clause that all this, there must be clear collaboration between the national government and the county government. Madam Speaker, the national government will put standards. This is what should be done. This is how it should be done. But those standards are actually delivered at the county. So if there is no link between them, then you will have a problem. Madam Speaker, Part 2 provides for maternal, newborn, and child health services to be afforded to women and children, covering the preconception, pregnancy, delivery, and postpartum periods, as well as child health services up to 12 years of age. So if we are taking care of babies, and if we want, for example, to be very successful in family planning, we must make sure that every baby that is born actually survives. So when you are putting in place services for delivery, you are putting for antenatal care, you are putting in place services for delivery and postnatal care, you must extend it, as I said, the first 30 days, the first 28 days of life, and even beyond. And when we talk of 12 years, Madam Speaker, there is something as a country, actually the world over, why we have the youth ball that sometimes we are scared of, and sometimes we actually consider as a resource. Vaccinations have been successful. In the year 78, 79, when there were no vaccination, that's when we actually started serious vaccination. We were losing, as I said, up to 300 children before 1 year of birth. And measles, I'll just take measles for example, Madam Speaker. We had what we call the measles season. And in a ward of, say, 50, a children's ward of 50, in the measles season, you would have even 200 children. You would have 5 to 10 deaths a day. When vaccinations were put in place, between 79 and actually 84, we actually moved so fast. So between 1984 and the year 2005, we did not have a single case of measles in this country. I don't know whether we can perceive that level of rapid growth.
What is out of order, Honorable Mwafrika?
Madam Speaker, I want to request Honorable Nyikal if he can clarify that he said that we were losing 300 children before 1 year. If you can clarify what it means, kindly.
Okay. Okay, I'll not be very technical. So
before attaining 1 year of age.
Before attaining 1 year of age.
So basically, that is what we call infant mortality. So it is a measure of how well our system is working. So that if a child is born, the chance of that child living up to 1 year is a good measure of how well our services are working. And that's why I was saying many years back, going back to as far as 2005 or even beyond, you would have that when 1,000 children were born, by the end of 1 year, 300 will have died because of sickness, because of mainly sicknesses that can be prevented by vaccination. And now we have improved vaccination, and now we are down to 34. And that is why you have very many young people. Children don't die. When did you last go to a child's funeral? But we go to adult funerals all the time. The children as born, they are surviving. But we have a problem that is still sticking with mothers. Mothers are dying when they are giving birth. And then children, many children born die before their 28 days of life. And however much we try, we are not being successful there. Therefore, this bill seeks to put into place structures that take care of the mother from the time she's pregnant to the time she's in labor, to the time the baby is delivered, to first 28 days, and then up to 1 year. Another measure is 5 years. There we have done very well. So that is what this bill is all about. Honorable Speaker, Part 4 outlines the role of the national government through Cabinet Secretary for Health, including the development of standards, policies, and a national plan of action, and the requirement to submit annual reports to Parliament. That is extremely important. If we then say we will put up standards the standards of care that are required, and a plan of action that will make sure that those standards are reached. And that's why I was saying the national government must work together with the county government, because the truth is most of our health services are in the county government, from level 1 to level 5. If you take level 6, we are talking of less than 20 hospitals, and that's what the national government in reality takes care of. So if those are not working, so that is where we have the standards. And then we say there must be proper monitoring or a reporting system, so that report to Parliament. We are saying we report to Parliament because we want to now, as Parliament, be sure that this level, where we have reached with maternal deaths, with the children dying before 1 month of life or 28 days, what are the factors? And so we don't just leave it out there, that we also get the report. And Part 4 sets out the functions of county government, which include implementing national policies and standards, promoting public awareness, developing county-specific programs to reduce maternal wealth. That's reduce maternal and infant mortality deaths. So again, as I said, we need the counties to do that. Part 4 provides for monitoring and evaluation mechanisms, including collection, surveillance of maternal and child deaths, and assessment of adherence to standards. Now, again, as I said, we just don't put standards, we just don't put structures, we don't just employ people. We must know that when you have done those, are they really happening? And this thing is being lifted in this bill to a level that Parliament will be involved. And I can tell you that during the UNGAS, there was a report that actually kind of embarrassed the country, because we were being quoted to countries that we shouldn't be quoted to. I don't want to name the countries, and it came public. So as Parliament, we must now make sure that we do that, which means for us in the Budget Committee, we'll have to actually even put more money there. So Part 5 contains general provisions, including the power of the Cabinet Secretary to make regulations and consequential amendments to other acts to align with the objective of this bill. We have the Health Act 2017, which is a major act that we'll have to look at. Even HIV/AIDS Act, I think we'll have to look at it when we have this.
Member for Chesume, what is out of order?
Madam Speaker, I rise on Standing Order 91 on responsibility of statement of fact, and I just wanted to seek clarification from our senior. He said that nowadays you do not hear funerals for young children, but I would like to be informed that, or I inform him that usually funerals are not done for those young children. So is he really being factual in his report that nowadays there are no funerals?
Honorable Biego, that children don't get funerals?
No, what I'm saying is that the honorable member said that nowadays there are no funerals for children. But I was just putting to his attention African culture. A child who is a toddler or 3 months or just having been born, there is no funeral for those kind of children. So I don't know why he's saying that nowadays.
Okay, you've made your point.
You made my point. The essence of my statement is that less children are dying than before, but maybe not all the whole of. Not all African cultures.
I also don't think it's factual.
For children under 1 year of age, we have had marked improvement. So that was the essence. But you brought an issue that is actually so important. In fact, the death of children are actually the most painful death, particularly for mothers who lose their babies at the time of delivery. It is so painful that when she's in the ward and the baby has died and she's not discharged, you wonder whether you should keep her in the ward with the other babies who are nursing their babies, and relatives are coming to congratulate her, and hers has died. Or do you seclude her in a different room, and then she now says, I'm now being put here because my baby has died. Now, the death of children are very painful, but actually they are not as pronounced, but they are an important factor, and that is why we are bringing this. And I told you, it is the survival of children that is actually responsible for the youth birth you are seeing. I tell you, from 300 per thousand babies born to 33, that is a marked difference. And these children, and you note in 2002, we actually had to now come in and say, the children that actually are surviving, what about going to school? And President Kibaki said, they will all go to school.
What is out of order? Honorable Nyikal, take your seat. What is out of order, Kawanjiko?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. When the chair is giving that statement, I'm wondering whether he's aware or whether he has been even watching the media lately, that the rate of mortality, especially in my county, when I speak about Kiambu County, we have lost almost 136 infants. So when he's talking and saying that the rate of infant has gone down, is he still aware of what is happening within the Kiambu County, and especially when it comes to the matters to do with medics, the matters to do with drugs, the matters to do with the state of the hospitals within the Kiambu County?
Don't debate. If it is a point of order, raise a point of order. Honorable Nyikal.
I actually accept the information, but I'm talking for the country. I know the problem in Kiambu, and even we received and we even received a petition today. And these are the facts that we want to put in place. That is why we have the bill. If we had this bill, we would put the governor of Kiambu County to tax with the bill. So that is why we actually need the bill. Honourable Speaker, pursuant to Article 118 of the Constitution and Standing Order, the committee facilitated public participation by publishing an advertisement in the local dailies on Wednesday, 4th December 2024, inviting submissions on the bill. The committee received written memoranda and submissions from the stakeholders, including the Ministry of Health,
State Department of Medical Services, the Office of the Attorney General, Department of Justice, Kenya Law Reform Commission, the National Gender and Equality Commission, the Council of Governors, the Health NGOs Network, HENET, the Kenya Pediatric Association. The committee further held meetings with stakeholders on the 25th February 2025 and a retreat on 11th April 2025 in Machakos County. The committee adopted several amendments to enhance accountability and integrate palliative care services, ensure consistency in terminology and existing laws, and establish mechanisms for the systematic data collection and evaluation and monitoring. That is particularly important. If we don't have data, even that one of Kiambu, you notice that the governor was saying that children are not dying. So we now actually need data to confront when people in position of authority actually make statements that hide the situation of healthcare in our country. The bill further introduces deterrent penalties to promote compliance with professional and ethical standards and to safeguard the rights and the welfare of persons seeking maternal, newborn, and child health services. Honorable Speaker, the committee observed that the bill provides a robust framework for advancing maternal and child health, promotes collaboration between national and county governments, and aligns with Kenya's international obligations under the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women and International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights. Madam Speaker, the issue of children's health, mother's health, of course, quite often come in the purview of human rights. So therefore, Madam Speaker, the committee recommends that the House consider and passes the Maternal and Child Health Bill number 2023, Senate Bill number 17 of 2023, with the proposed amendment. And I will call upon colleagues to actually pass this bill. So we actually have a way of forcing services, better services for our people. With that, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move and ask Honorable Karoli Omondi to second.
Thank you very much. Madam Speaker, I've heard my sister, Honorable Irene Mayaka, say we should have left
possibly maneno ya wanawake. Because without the men, there are no children. It's a matter of the whole society.
Honorable Madam Speaker, many years ago, when I was in the village, I joined my late grandmother to go and weed, to do some weeding. I was in the village, Honorable Mili. And then I saw a lady, a member of the extended family, who was also weeding, and she was heavily pregnant. And shock of my life, I saw her holding some tree and swinging around. And after a while, there was a bit of commotion and women rushed there. And an hour or so later, we were told she had delivered. But also most recently, one of my caretakers in the village was not at work, and when I inquired, I was told his wife had just delivered the day before. So I went to visit him. Shock of my life was when the same lady came out to make tea for me. So I've just been wondering, when I saw this, and Honorable Nyikal asked me to second it, I quickly looked at the bill and I said, at least I can relate with this. Madam Speaker, I think the most important thing in this bill is to try and create uniform standards of care, both for mothers and children. And I'm quite impressed that the bill addresses especially maternal care even before conception. How do we prepare our women for conception? If you look at the statistics, and I was trying to get them fairly quickly, on infant mortality, that is the number of children who die before they are 1 year per 1,000 births. If you look at the rate in 1950, it was about 147%. 60, 112%. 1970, 87.5. 1980, 68.5. The current statistics for 2025 is about 28%. 2024 is 31%. 2023 is 34%. 2022 is 35%. In other words, we are making progress at every stage. But I believe there's still so much work to be done. With respect to maternal health care, this bill proposes preconception care of our women, where health education is made available to women before they conceive. They can be guided by having hormonal profiling to know when is the best time to conceive, but also to offer them prenatal care and education. I think this is very important because a lot of people do not seem to have access to this kind of support. So I hope when this bill is passed into law, we will have uniform standard of care for women across the country. There is care during pregnancy, nutrition, which is, I think, is very important for the well-being, long-term health of the baby and the well-being. And this bill proposes that both county governments as well as national government provide information or support to assist women with care during pregnancy. Safe and delivery, safe and secure delivery, what they call intrapartum care. I'm also learning new terminologies under this bill, and also postpartum care for new mothers. In terms of diet, counseling, education, most women I've had or have seen suffer a lot of stress or distress or get what you'd call depression, get into depression during this period or after giving birth. I think this bill offers us an opportunity to deal with that problem. This is where health workers have not been very kind to new babies or newborn mothers. And health workers have not been very kind to new babies or newborn mothers. And we have had even some taken to court for that kind of inhuman treatment. So I hope with this, even the county health facilities will provide facilities to support newborns, especially those born prematurely, and also to guide the mothers how to look after themselves. There's a famous, I think, problem in the country, is it, or infamous, called fistula. I'm not an expert, but I'm informed it's related to giving birth and not having the proper care at the time of delivery. So I think with this bill, we will be addressing so many things. With those remarks, I beg to support. To second. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
I therefore propose the question that the Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Bill, Senate Bill number 17 of 2023, be read a second time. Minority Whip.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Madam Speaker, let me take this chance to thank Honorable Nyikal for co-sponsoring this bill, together with Senator Beatrice, who comes from my county, Homa Bay County. Madam Speaker, it is said great minds think alike, and so I just want to congratulate Honorable Beatrice because I have a similar bill, a bit more comprehensive, because this is Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Bill. Mine is Family Reproductive Health Care Bill. I think Honorable Beatrice, because of the challenges that we normally face when people hear the word reproduction, the first thing they think of is that people are talking about abortion. So she's been smart to remove abortion reproduction, so that people don't think it's about abortion. But sometimes in compromise, we lose a lot. And you can see from this bill, and I'm glad that Honorable Irene and Honorable Karoli were discussing about this, except, of course, I want to challenge Karoli about issues of the village. I know he went to Woma Bay Primary School together with me. So he's just dreaming about having gone to the village. But having said that, Madam Speaker, I'm glad that they were talking about the issue that it is a man who has moved and it is a man who was seconded. But if you look at the bill, it is maternal, newborn, and child health. Where is the paternal? You cannot have a maternal without a paternal. Even where the bill which I'm sponsoring, the second bill, which has to do with the children, which is assisted reproductive technology. Madam Speaker, even in assisted reproductive technology where you use in vitro fertilization, there is a sperm donor, and the sperm donor is a man. So there is always a man. And so, Madam Speaker, I'm actually supporting this bill with proposed amendments. The first amendment is that we need to change the title. There must be a father somewhere, because we cannot have a child who doesn't have a father. Article 53 of our Constitution recognizes both father and mother, even where a child is born out of wedlock. The child has a right to know both mother and father. Secondly, a father needs to be in the life of that child. And especially in situations like this, which is envisaged in the bill, where it is presumed that the parents are married to each other. We cannot focus on the mother as though she's the one carrying this child on her own. Carrying a child for 9 months, a lot of women will tell you it's not an easy task. The father must be involved throughout this process. They must be involved when the woman goes into labor. That is when you actually appreciate your role of fatherhood. So for me, one of the things that I'm going to provide here, which is actually in the bill, some of the things that I'm going to propose here are things that are in my bill, and if they pass here, let my bill die. It's not about whether my bill passes or not, it's about whether we take care of the things that are of concern to us. We want to reduce instances of child mortality in this country, and I want to agree with Honorable Nyikal that the numbers are not as high as before, but the numbers are still of concern. And I want to agree that we have a big challenge right now in Kiambu. But I would want to say that Kiambu is what we would call in law sui generis. Sui generis because when you have those numbers of children dying, I think we should even close the country. Because how can we have children dying like that and we are continuing like life is normal? There must be something that is done in Kiambu, and it must be done very urgently to address the cases of children dying. But I want to tell Honorable Nyikal that indeed children still die and we bury. Unfortunately, one of my employees just lost her baby. I think 3 days ago we buried the baby, 2 days ago in Langata. So we still lose children very young. And unfortunately, in her case, it was, if you could actually, when she was narrating what happened, it was a case of negligence. There are cases that are avoidable. Yeah, the child, it's somebody else who had to actually then go to the house and notice the child was jaundiced. Yeah, and if you see the child, she took the child to hospital. I wish she had even called me to intervene. By the time I was landing, even though I was out of the country, it was a bit late. They went to hospital in the morning. The child was admitted. They were trying to admit the child in the evening because the child needed to be in ICU. And by the time they were admitting, they had been telling her to wait for ICU. Then they said there's no longer any space for ICU. So the child died because there was no space for ICU. So that does happen, that we still have, and I just want to say condolences to Belinda on the loss of your child. And so we still are having many, many women losing children when they don't need to in this age and time. We are losing too many children. But the worst is also that we are losing too many mothers while having children. There is no reason for us to be losing mothers when they're having children. But having children is such a noble thing that we shouldn't be losing mothers because of bringing to earth, children, because of furthering the human race. And yet, a lot of the cases that you see, it's because of negligence or because of distances, like those of us who come from, very far places. And I want to thank the county government of Homa Bay that they had actually promised, for instance, our islands, that they are going to provide an ambulance in each of the islands. But I would actually also want to suggest, because I was one of the people who sat when we were doing the constitution, and I remember this was an issue that was raised by Honorable Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta himself, and he said in areas like ours that are overly marginalized, we should be given more money to take care of those unique challenges. In my place where you have 7 habitable islands, if there is an emergency in Sukuru, Rembaringiti, or Takawiri Island, or Ngode Island, or Mfangano Island, and you need to reach the mainland, how do you quickly reach the mainland with an emergency? So we end up losing many women, we end up losing, many children because of that. And sometimes you want to blame the county governments, but all, the amount of monies that are given are not really sufficient for that. So for me, I want to just say, I don't want to go into the details of this bill, because as I've indicated, I have a more comprehensive bill that looks at the entire life spectrum of reproduction, from preconception to conception to giving birth in all ages, including gerontological. Because we have very many old men who are struggling with other reproductive challenges nowadays because of peer pressure. Peer pressure happens at any age. You'll find a man who is 80, 90, is still busy wanting to have a child. So we say, if you are a man who is 80, 90 and you have a child, how do you deal with you as an 80-year-old man? How do you deal with your child as an 80-year-old man? How do you deal with, raising that child as an 80-year-old man who has a child at 80 and you are a father? That child, by the time you are 90, the child is 10. By the time you are 100, the child is joining university. So those are issues that I've addressed in my bill, and as I've said, I've actually discussed with Honorable Nyikal. To the extent possible, so that we don't change the architecture of this bill, I will bring amendments that can be carried on into this bill, and I'm hoping that we don't bring propaganda again to this bill, because as we do a lot of politics on women's bodies, women continue dying, and young children continue dying. Why we politic? It's very easy to sit from a distance and comment about your neighbor's compound when you don't know what your neighbor has to go through. And unfortunately, sometimes that's what our brothers do to us. We want to theorize about childbirth. We want to theorize about reproduction. And we love the ones like Honorable Nyikal and Honorable Kaluli, who are very supportive of us. And please talk to your other male colleagues so that they can join us, because this is a journey of furthering the human race, both men and female. Once again, congratulations and thank you for this bill. I'll support with amendments.
Very well. Honorable Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to give my contribution to this particular bill, the Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Bill. And Honorable Speaker, from the onset, I just want to appreciate the Honorable Dr. Nyikal, the move of the motion, and the Honorable Karoli for supporting this bill. Actually, my comment was that I really like the fact that this bill is being moved and seconded by our male colleagues, because it is helping us to give it even more oomph, because we shouldn't assume that matters to do with maternal, newborn, children are only things that should be spoken about by women, but that they should also be spoken about by everyone in society. Honorable Speaker, the reason why I really support this bill is because it gives us access to a coordinated system of this, and when even a person, before they become pregnant, in terms of the assistance, the process, and then when you conceive, to when after you have conceived and you have postpartum issues in terms of how to even relate to that. Because, Honorable Speaker, I'll be very honest with you that the issues with childbirth is not about just mobility and mortality. It's also about the whole spectrum of counseling, the spectrum of the mental disorders that people experience, the whole spectrum of after the child is born, the early stages, what to do with them. But I also want to agree with the Honorable Millie when she says that we also need to have an aspect of paternal, because we do not, we shouldn't be assuming that new fathers are also in the know of what to do. Sometimes they don't know what to do. They don't know how to give support to the new mothers because they don't have proper guidance. Honorable Speaker, and therefore, just to have a look at the specifics of the bill, and the objectives are very quite clear in terms of what this is trying to achieve. The structuring, the comprehensive quality health service, supplies, availability, access to the public health facilities, improved availability and access to maternal, newborn, and health services, which is where to get these particular services. But Honorable Speaker, I just want to go into the specifics of the areas of this bill that I feel that we really need to put emphasis on because they're very important. Section 6 seeks to speak about a woman who is not pregnant, which is what I was just alluding to in my opening remarks. Because as I've said, most women do not know where to get access to information in terms of before you even decide to get pregnant. And even the issue of standards for effective delivery of services and regarding safety occurrence of future pregnancy when someone decides to become pregnant. So where do they get this information? And it's very important that we have a bill that speaks to this particular issue. When you look at Section 8, that speaks to the health care provision for a child, because most of the time, from the experience of most mothers, myself included, is that you have antenatal care for children until the age of, say, 2 years. After they've gotten their recommended injections, and then there's no care to ensure that there's even proper diagnosis, assessment of these children. And this bill is speaking about having this particular care for children up to the age of 12 years. It even goes further to also speak about the special needs and the children who have special needs and what we need to ensure that they have provision for. Again, Honorable Speaker, another section that is very important is Section 9 that speaks about women who are pregnant and who have special needs. And in terms of the care, the related services, the prescription of that they should actually receive. Because, Honorable Speaker, women who have special needs, when they're pregnant, it's also another matter for them. And so when we have specification in terms of how they should be cared for, the respectfulness that they should be given, the dignified care that they should be given, and having laws in place to ensure that we have that, I think for me that's a very progressive area that we are going into. Honorable Speaker, I did mention about the postmortem, but just to go to the specifics, Section 11 speaks about the prenatal, intrapartum, and postpartum care for pregnant women. It also speaks about counseling services for pregnant women, because we do not want to assume that people are always okay when they're pregnant, and counseling services for adolescents undergoing postpartum care. Because, Honorable Speaker, postpartum health services is something that is not very common. And a lot of people don't even know when they're going through this particular mood disorder when they have it. And most of the time, what happens is that when a woman is going through the postpartum depression, the backlash and the consequences are on the new child. And this is not a very good thing to have. So having this also incorporated into this particular law is very important. And finally, Honorable Speaker, is to speak to the matter of the role of national government in conjunction with the county government, because this is a collaborative effort. We cannot leave it to only one section of government. We do need a lot of support in terms of policy formulation and ensuring implementation, because as we always say, we don't want to be a house that comes up with fantastic laws that are never implemented, that are never used by anyone. They're just gathering dust in the shelf. So this particular inclusion, and even the fact that this bill speaks to the aspect of monitoring and evaluation as well. It is very specific. It speaks about the CS giving a report 3 months after the financial year in terms of the status of maternal, newborn, and child health services. I think this is very important as well, so that as a country, as a house, we are able to actually track what is going on in our country. We are able to track in terms of the effectiveness of the laws that we are making, so that if there is anything within this law that, say, 1 year from now, that we feel was not covered sufficiently, the monitoring and evaluation aspect done by the national government in conjunction with the county government helps us to be able to enrich even this law further. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, with those few remarks, I do want to support this bill. I submit. Thank you.
Honorable Makali Mulu.
Yeah, thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also want to support this bill, the maternal, newborn, and child health bill. Honorable Speaker, I think in terms of timing, the bill has just come at the right time, Honorable Speaker. And this is based on what we are hearing from Kiambu and other areas, losing quite a number of mothers as a result of poor care. As Dr. Nyika was moving, I realized that the focus is more on the children below the 28 days, Honorable Speaker. And this is informed by the fact that statistics do prove that up to 5 years, things are not very bad these days. And the issue, Honorable Speaker, is it is unfortunate that in these modern days, when technology has improved this much, we could still see our children dying, and more so below the 28 days, Honorable Speaker. And the worst is where you even lose a mother. But Honorable Speaker, one of the interesting things of this bill is the element of monitoring and evaluation. And to me, that's what I'm very attracted to that, Honorable Speaker. Why am I saying that? Because through monitoring and evaluation, Honorable Speaker, we'll be able to know if there's a maternal death. We'll be able to document what factors have contributed to that death. And as a result of that, then we can come up with the mechanisms which change the scenario. At the same time, Honorable Speaker, after documenting the factors, then as a house, we could be in a position to determine how much resources are required to address the shortcomings. And that is critical. Honorable Speaker, when you watched the story of Kiambu the other day, as a Kenyan, I felt really bad. And you know, Honorable Speaker, there has been this debate between Linda Mama and the new SHA proposals, which one is more superior. And I think these are some of the things which would make us and the Kenyan women feel like Linda Mama was more senior or superior in terms of services than the one being called the family package. Why am I saying that, Honorable Speaker? Because since we got into devolution, one of the health is one of the functions which was developed, Honorable Speaker. And we have seen over time, in many areas, and more so the marginalized areas of this country, the health indicators are actually getting worse as a result of this devolving of the health function, Honorable Speaker. And that's why I think this bill becomes very important, because the bill is going to provide a legal framework where all over the country now, we should be able to know if a mother dies, what is the cause of that death? If a child dies, what is the cause of that death? And then we'll be able to mainstream, Honorable Speaker, those services which are required to ensure that that does not happen. That's why I agree with what Honorable Mayaka is saying in terms of looking at clause by clause. You can see there is a very structured way to ensure that mothers don't die. And even there are also issues where there will be even advice on what to do. There are also follow-up mechanisms to make sure that we minimize this area where mothers die as they give birth, Honorable Speaker. And this is important, and I think as a House, we need to support this bill. And what I would be requesting, Honorable Nyikal, is possible to fast track, so that even after this second reading, Honorable Speaker, the third reading is taken up very quickly by the House business, so that within a very short time, this becomes an act of Parliament, which will now support the whole process. And then, Honorable Speaker, it would also be unfortunate, like what is happening in Kiambu, and it was documented, that if we just buried our heads in the sand, Honorable Speaker, I think when such things happen, it's important really to take action immediately, because losing one more life is too many to lose, Honorable Speaker. So from where I sit, I think this bill is good, and let's ensure, Speaker, the health sector in any country is a sector which should be taken very serious. And Honorable Speaker, I want to tell you, because we live in the counties, as a member of Parliament, Honorable Speaker, anytime I sit in my office on Fridays, because I sit there on Fridays to listen to my people, Honorable Speaker, the kind of problems our people are going in the health sector are things you cannot explain, Honorable Speaker. Somebody comes to your office and tells you, I've gone to the hospital, this drug has been prescribed for me, I can't afford, and the hospital doesn't have the drug. Up to an extent, Honorable Speaker, where people are going to ask to go to the chemistry to buy needles, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, for me, I think really as a country, this health sector, the health issues of this country, we need to take time and discuss them. We need a serious national discourse, matters health, so that as Kenyans we say, what is ailing us? And once we agree on the way forward, we have come up with the solutions which will serve Kenyans who are in the urban setting, where we have so many doctors and private clinics, and we have also proposals which will serve Kenyans who are very marginalized areas, where transport is a serious problem. As Honorable, within the same county, you need to take 3 hours to reach our health center, and more so, a health center where you can have maternal services, Honorable Speaker. So we must factor in such situations where we have areas which are so remote from the health center that they can, for you to reach a health center, you need 3 or 4 hours. In such a case, what happens to a mother who has complications, Honorable Speaker? And that's why we also must be discussing. At one point, Honorable Speaker, this issue of mobile clinics was very common, so that you have mobile clinics in such remote areas, so that when you have an emergency, you can actually save life. Because by having our mothers dying as they give birth, Honorable Speaker, we are saying we are not then going to allow this country to have more people. And I think it is good to have more people as a country. It's good, Honorable Speaker, for purposes of ensuring that, because most people now are planning, through family planning, most people just want 2 children or 3. So in a situation where you give birth and the child dies, Honorable Speaker, you can see the frustration in that family. I have heard Honorable Millie saying through our bill, and I hope she brings our amendment, which I will be supporting, we also take sure some of our traditions, Honorable Speaker. In a situation where Honorable Millie wants me to be in a labor ward at my age, although I'm not, Honorable Speaker, I get worried, Honorable Speaker, because you know some of our age mates are also in the childbearing level, Honorable Speaker. And according to our traditions, a man is not supposed to be in the labor ward, more so the older one. So even as many proposes our amendments, she should also factor in the tradition so that she doesn't cause problems into our culture. But really, I support her moves. I know she's really passionate about reproductive health, but we also need to be careful, Honorable Speaker. Otherwise, we'll have challenges where your wife tells you must come to the labor ward, and then the Wazes are looking at you, Honorable Speaker, and what is wrong with the Honorable Speaker? So these are the issues we must balance so that we have a country which is progressive in terms of making our laws and progressive in the provision of services. With those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support. Thank you so much.
The Honorable John Kawanjiku.
Thank you.
The speaker was smiling because he's could be one of the people falling under the category Honorable Mokali is talking about.
No.
Honorable Kawanjiku, proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance to debate this important motion. And I want to take this opportunity to thank Honorable Nyikal for coming up with this bill, especially such a time that we're experiencing turbulences as far as the issue of health is concerned within the Kiambu County, Honorable Speaker. And we really want to support the bill to some extent, but also would seek, even though the health is devolved, there is a lot to be done by the national government, because apart from the education sector that is still within the national government, health should have remained with the national government, because some of the challenges we are experiencing as far as our people are concerned, even now when we are talking about level 1, level 2, level 3 hospitals are supposed to be free. Some of the counties, because we have created some small presidents, some small kings and kingpins within the county. And when it comes to the matters of concern, and when the national government is doing its best and putting its best foot forward to make sure it stabilizes health, there are governors within the counties who feels that they are the one who have the monopoly of controlling and saying whatever happens within the county government. And they fail to realize that they really need to be in support of whatever the national government is doing as far as the issue of concern, especially the matters to do with health, Mr. Speaker. Some of the issues I have seen Honorable Nyikal trying to address on this bill is that we should carefully and keenly take care of our children. Because when you talk about the child, you talk about the innocent, you talk about the future of our country, the future of a parent, the future of a nation. And even when that mother is pregnant at that particular time, Mr. Speaker, she takes a lot of time to prepare. You know, she's no longer herself because she's carrying another person inside her, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, making sure that we regularize and make sure that they are well taken care of as far as postnatal and prenatal care are concerned, it should be a concern of any man or any person or any government to take care of its future generation, Mr. Speaker. We have an issue, and I want to congratulate Honorable Millie and doesn't even understand what is happening. So we must call these governors out and tell them and understand what is happening. So we must call these governors out and tell them that they need to take care of our hospitals because the health is devolved. We have seen so many kids dying. And unfortunately, we have decided to play politics with our county, Mr. Speaker. And now we are arguing about the numbers, how many kids have died. Even one child is too many to die, Mr. Speaker. We cannot afford to sit down, relax, and watch things happening within our county and watch health deteriorate every day. There is no medicine, there is no theater, there is no doctors to take children to the pregnant mother, probably when they are going through cesarean section. There are no doctors who can be able to take care of them. There is no medicine within even the hospitals. So what are we talking about when we are saying that, you know, the health is devolved, Mr. Speaker? And when you raise this issue, people tend to believe and to think that what we are trying to pray around is politics, Mr. Speaker. I have seen that the bill has also separated the work of the national government and the work of the county government. But when it comes to the county government, it is worrying, Mr. Speaker. We cannot sit down and watch our children and our mother dying within the Kiambu County. And I appreciate that Honorable Nyikal has received a petition from the doctors, you know, trying to air out their grievances and what they are going through as far as Kiambu County is concerned. And it's not about even the issue of health as per say. Because the moment you decide to be a rod, the moment you decide that you cannot listen to anybody, even professionals who are advising you, who are telling you what you need to do as far as the county and the health is concerned, it is worrying, Mr. Speaker, because we are elected by the people. We are the representative of the people. And we are going to voice out in the morning, voice out in the noontime, voice out in the evening, until the matter of health is addressed within the Kiambu County, Mr. Speaker. Even if calling out the president, even if you need to shut down the county, because there is nothing that is of great importance if health is not considered, Mr. Speaker. And we have seen Nyikala separated what the national government is trying to do. And we have seen other counties who are doing very well. We saw the other day, there was even letters from the Kenyatta National Hospital trying to say that they are becoming overwhelmed by the number of patients they receive from the Kiambu County. We have so many hospitals. We have been reading as far as the hospitals are concerned within all the counties. But as we speak now, our people are moving from level 1, level 2, level 3 hospital, even level 4, and they are now going to the neighboring counties, the Murang'a County, the Nairobi County. They are becoming overwhelmed, even Kenyatta National Hospital, because we don't have medics within the county, within our county, Mr. Speaker. But when you separate what the national government is supposed to do in terms of policies, in terms of creating funds, in terms of making sure that the counties are well equipped, that the counties are well facilitated. But on the other hand, we have another person who seems and feel like that the county is supposed to be run through a certain way, Mr. Speaker. So we no longer know whether we should support such a bill, because at the end of the day, even if the bill goes through, Mr. Speaker, we will still face other handles in the county level, whereby governors are implementing and doing what they want to do. I have a hospital, for example, in Kihara level 4, Mr. Chairman, and it is quite unfortunate that hospitals closes at 5. You go to the hospital, there is no medicine, there is no doctor, there is no nurse, and it's a public hospital that is supposed to address or supposed to treat people or is supposed to receive people 24 hours, supposed to be operational 24 hours. Another day, a parent who gave birth at the gate of the hospital, and there was nobody to address that matter or to address the parent, or probably to understand the feeling and the pain that mother was going through, and even the husband was going through, Mr. Speaker. We had to send private cars to go and pick the parent after she delivered at the gate of the hospital that is supposed to be operational 24 hours and to be taken to a private hospital. We have facilitated and budgeted for funds, even to the county level, Mr. Speaker. But where are these funds going to if they cannot be able to make sure that there is a doctor at the hospital and there is medicine at the bare minimum? Is a doctor, and the medicine, Mr. Speaker, to treat and also to take care of the people who have elected us as the leaders within the constituency, Mr. Speaker. The other day, another dispensary, a mother lost a child in a place called Gathanga in my constituency, Mr. Speaker. So it is paining that even now, people take it as business as usual. And like losing a child is like a normal thing, Mr. Speaker. You have no clue. When you go with your wife to a hospital, and you are told, sit there and wait as she goes to the theater to deliver. The kind of prayers that we also make, and I wanted to tell Honorable Millie Odhiambo that we also undergo sometimes the same trauma and the same stress as we wait to see what the wife has been carrying for the past 9 months. And until you receive that child in your hand, that is the time that you make your prayer and you thank God that the mother is safe and the child is safe. If in such incidences, we cannot sit down and watch mothers die and watch our children die, Mr. Speaker, when the mother is, delivering, Mr. Speaker. So we are really concerned, and Mr. Chairman, and through the Speaker, we really hope that you'll take that matter. We have raised it, we have talked about it, but it is a serious issue of concern to our constituency, and even the levels of the hospitals that they're in a bad state. there is no medicine, there is no theaters, it's not operational anymore. Kiambu is no longer the pride of Mount Kenya or the pride of Kenya that we used to say that, all the big hospitals, they are actually within our county. We have Thika level 5, we have Kiambu level 5, where we host people all, even from other county and constituency, Mr. Speaker. So we support the bill, and we really hope that this matter will be addressed, and the county will also take charge of making sure that they take care of our people.
What is out of order, Honorable John Kaguchi?
Is it right for Honorable Kawanjiko to say that Kiambu County is no longer the pride of Mount Kenya when he himself has argued or has pushed for Kiambu to be removed from Mount Kenya? In fact, he says that Kiambu now is Sugoi. Is he right again to come here and say that Kiambu is not the pride of Mount Kenya anymore? Honorable Kawanjiko must now step down and now withdraw that statement, because he doesn't believe that Kiambu is in Mount Kenya anymore. Honorable Kawanjiko.
1 minute, Mr. Speaker. Honorable
Kagushia, we are talking about maternal health. But Honorable Kawanjiku, you will give Honorable Kawanjiku 1 minute to respond to the point of order.
The reason why we are telling these characters that ourselves we are the region, because of the population that we carry behind us. You cannot compare Kiambu.
Which characters are you talking about?
We are telling Mr. Bwana Kagushia. The reason why we call ourselves, Mr. Speaker, through the Speaker,
honorable members.
Honorable Kagushia.
Yes.
The reason why we call ourselves the region is because of the numbers that we carry behind us. For example, Mukurweini is supposed to be, and I think he's very lucky that the constituency, that the commissioners of the IEBC were not in place. We were supposed to have crossed Mukurweini, and in Kiambu, we are talking about increasing our constituencies because our numbers have become enormous. So when you talk about it, say, we as Kiambu, we want to be region so that we can increase even the number of constituencies that we'll be having. We cannot be comparing a 1.4 million votes and tell us to give it to a county that is one constituency within Kiambu County. So we are telling him, relax. The region is still operational and is still the pride of Mount Kenya.
Your explanation is adequate. And Honorable Kagushia now understands. Yeah, so Honorable Maina Madenge.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am a member of the Health Committee, and I stand to support this bill. But in the same vein, I have a bit of reservations that this bill does not go far enough in dealing with the issues surrounding maternal and newborn health. Mr. Speaker, as we debate here today, we have a case of a young boy by the name of Liam Anthony Wachira, who passed away on the 7th of October. It is not clear whether he passed in the precincts of PGH Nyeri or as the parents were taking him back to PGH Nyeri, having been attended on the 6th of October. The parents had gone to hospital at night, in the middle of the night, with a child who had severe abdominal pains. Apparently, the child, after being seen by the clinicians, was sent back to the casualty, given paracetamol and ORS, and then sent to for an abdominal ultrasound and a stool test in the lab. Well, apparently the paracetamol and ORS were given at free of charge. Of course, the ultrasound and the lab tests came at a cost, and because these parents did not have money, they went home with their sick child. The following day, they came back to hospital and the child either had passed on or passed on. Between the county government, at the funeral of this young child today, who was 3 years and 6 months, the county government sent the county executive member for finance
Well, the county CEC is a medic by the name of Dr. Kiragu. And Honorable Speaker, these are the kind of games we don't want to see being played around the lives of children in this country. No parent should have to lose their child on account of inability to pay, and therefore they are hindered from accessing health services. Honorable Speaker, this bill should come with a clear prescription on the protocols that have to be followed in the provision of maternal and newborn children. And we have to have a clear definition. I like the definition here that the child health will extend up to 12 years. Honorable Speaker, we have so many children across hospitals in this country who are detained in hospitals having been treated on account of their parents being unable to cater for the medical bills. Honorable Speaker, we have mothers who are detained in our health care facilities having delivered and unable to clear their maternity bills. Honorable Speaker, we have children who are stuck in hospital beds because their parents cannot afford the next level of care that is required. Honorable Speaker, I have a sad case of a young child from Morogoro in Nyeri who has undergone 4 heart surgeries, 1 at Kenyatta National Hospital, 3 at Mata, and now the heart specialists have recommended that this child can only be treated in India. The mother is literally destitute. The treatment in India requires her to raise 1.5 million shillings as a deposit to access treatment. When she did the fundraising in the village, they raised 80,000 shillings. What do we tell this mother? What do we tell this child who is a Kenyan child, born with all the rights in our constitution, yet staring death? As we speak, Honorable Speaker, yesterday, the mother to this child came to my office and told me the previous night the child had suffered a stroke. So, Honorable Speaker, this bill could not have come at a more timely time. The numbers in terms of maternal newborn deaths in Kenya are still higher than the other countries within the East African region, despite initiatives like Beyond Zero that had been graciously been championed by the former First Lady, Her Excellency Margaret Kenyatta. Honorable Speaker, while we are speaking, the Beyond Zero mobile clinics are gathering dust in county headquarters. And therefore, it is important for us not just to pass this bill, but also to ensure that the requisite resources necessary to guarantee the health of our innocent children are guaranteed by the state. Honorable Speaker, the other addition I'd have liked to see is a safe house, so that if our children have been treated and they have to be detained within hospitals. They are not detained in wards, but they can be provided with a safe home where they would stay, Honorable Speaker. I support, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Esther Passaris.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the Maternal, Newborn and Child Healthcare Bill, Senate Bill number 17 of 2023, which is critical and a life-saving piece of legislation that gives real meaning to Article 43 of our Constitution, which guarantees every person the right to the highest standards of health, including reproductive health care. Honorable Speaker, this bill goes to the heart of the nation's future. When we save mothers, when we protect newborns, and when we give every child a healthy start, we secure the destiny of our country. Kenya cannot prosper if our women continue to die while giving birth, or if our children fail to reach their 5th birthday because of preventable causes. Honorable Speaker, the reality is painful. Kenya still loses about 355 mothers for every 100,000 live births. Every single day, nearly 20 women die from pregnancy-related complications, most of them preventable. Just 3 months ago, a young girl named Victoria Susan, only 17 years old, died at Mama Lucy Hospital after delivering a premature child. She succumbed to pneumonia shortly after birth. Mr. Speaker, Victoria was a child, only 17. And we must ask ourselves as a nation, why was she pregnant in the first place? Where did we fail her? Was it poverty? Was it the lack of comprehensive sex education? Was it the silence and the stigma that keeps teenage girls away from services, health services? We cannot legislate only for safe delivery without addressing the root causes that push our children into early motherhood. Teenage pregnancies continue to rob our girls their education, their childhood, and in the case like Victoria, their very lives. The bill must therefore implement alongside strong community education, reproductive health awareness, and social safe delivery without addressing the root causes that push our children into our girls with knowledge. Teenage pregnancies continue to rob our girls because if we education, to protect their childhood from early teenage pregnancies, like Victoria, we fail as policymakers. The bill must therefore implement alongside strong community education. This bill strengthens our devolved health systems. Maternal and child health is a devolved function. Yet, coordination between national and county governments has been very weak. The bill bridges the gap by creating a framework for clear funding, oversight, and accountability. I strongly support the proposal to establish a maternal and child health fund to ensure predictable and transparent financing for services. We cannot continue to rely on donor cycles or ad hoc interventions when it comes to saving lives. Honorable Speaker, equity and inclusion must remain at the core. We must remember the women of Turkana who walked 10 kilometers to a dispensary. The mother in Kibra giving birth in a one-room shack, and the girl with disability who has no transport to reach the clinic. The bill must prioritize maternal waiting homes, mobile clinics, and emergency transport systems so that every woman, regardless of where she lives, can deliver safely and with dignity. I also urge that the bill include a provision for free emergency obstetric care in all public facilities. No woman should lose her life because she cannot afford treatment. Honorable Speaker, let us honor our health workers, our nurses, midwives, community health providers, promoters, and are the backbone of the maternal health system. Yet many serve under immense strain, understaffed, underpaid, under-equipped. The bill must ensure incentives for health workers, particularly those in rural and hardship areas, and provide continuous professional development to improve the quality of care. Honorable Speaker, this bill also aligns with our global continental commitments. It supports the Sustainable Development Goal 3 on good health and well-being, Aspiration 6 of Agenda 2063 of the African Union, which envisions healthy, well-nourished citizens. By passing this bill, Kenya reaffirms its leadership on the continent and its commitment to ensuring preventable maternal child deaths. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, as a woman, as a mother, as a legislator, I have witnessed the pain of losing a mother in childbirth. Behind every statistic is a home broken, a dream cut short. Let us remember Victoria Susan and the many others like her whose lives could have been saved. The bill is not just about health systems, it's about dignity, justice, and compassion. It is about ensuring that every woman who gives life lives to raise her child, and every baby born in this country has a fair chance to survive and thrive. Honorable Speaker, I fully support this bill, and I urge my colleagues to do the same. Let us pass it, implement it, and monitor it, because the health of our mothers and children is the true measure of our nation's progress. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.